We are back. We floated many nicknames around. The Three Musketeers, the Mustache Bandits. Kyle is already handing. All right, fuck it. Adam in. We're ripping a main event today. What's up, boys? Dirty Davis and the boys is the team name we settled on. But I want to say we had a lot of options. I just have to show our profile picture. This is our profile picture. Davis is obviously rocking the top stash of the gang. Mine's pretty weak. Boys, can we get a mustache check in the cameras?
Yeah, it's not the best.
Yeah, I mean, Liam, you were taken unaware.
I'd like to be clear. I was also taken unaware. I just I don't bring my C game at least.
Well,
and Davis, I definitely bought like really bad weed from that profile picture in high school. I just
For sure. I mean, I was just hanging out with my buddies last weekend, and they all my buddies in Kansas City, and they all had beards, or they all had mustaches. So I just shaved my beard off to be cool. I didn't want to be left out. I've never had a mustache as an adult. So, and I'm hoping it brings the luck tonight. I feel like we already got a little bit of the mustache luck by getting the second pick. Really picking in the main event, you really don't want to pick 9, 10, 11, or 12. It gets so thin, so fast. But really, a top 3 pick is so nice because
it's very nice. Real quick, just want to set the stage for anyone who's confused. This is the FFPC main event, typically a $2,000 buy-in, $1 million to first place. We're facing off against some friends today. We're facing against the ship-chasing crew, Pete Overzet, Pat Carrain, Ben Gretchen gang in the 3-hole right next to us. I believe the defending back-to-back champions are in the 1-hole. They're actually going to be coming on my YouTube tomorrow to talk some main event. So we're going to be battling against them. Some other names I recognized. Me, Kyle, and Davis drafted a team last year. We had a good run. Almost made the playoffs. We drafted Cup, of course, him going down made it hard to progress. And so we're going to talk about some lessons from that and talk some strategy. And we're doing a recorded video so that we don't have to pull any punches. We can just get in full-on screaming matches if we disagree. We have a 2-to-1 vote system here on any disagreements. What's up, lads? Are we ready to sunrun this?
We are. I mean, you already tried to talk your way out of Jamar Chase at 2. So
no, Jamar Chase is my guy. All I was saying is that Fantasy Mojo has the data of combos out there, right? And like unquestionably, for those that don't know this format, it's a managed league, so it's not best ball. It's managed. And then if you make it to the 3-week sprint, which is weeks 15, 16, and 17, whoever scores the most points that week, plus your average score weeks 1 through 14, takes down the championship. So there are 50% of the Travis Kelce teams in the contest have Mahomes with them. 3% of the A.J. Brown teams have Jalen Hurts. So obviously at the 2-hole, I don't want to pass on one of the big 2. To me, that's Jefferson and Chase. I know Kyle would consider Kelce, but it seems like we are determined to go. In our key right now is Jefferson first, then Chase.
Yeah, it seems like you guys like thought about Kelce too. Like it's not like a dumb pick.
I did not.
You didn't even consider.
Do you have like a share of him, Davis? So is this like your portfolio, or you're just out?
I think Travis Kelce is. If I was doing 20 main events, I would just take him at ADP, but I'll probably do like 7. And I think the opportunity cost on him is pretty bad when you start weighing in the downside of being a 34-year-old first round pick. Not that I'm, for example, I'm above the field on Travis Kelce in the best ball stuff on Underdog and DraftKings, because I think those are combinations you really want to have. But the calculus is just a little bit different when you're doing a $2,000 draft 6 or 7 times. I think passing on him for McCaffrey, like honestly, even Cup, I think those guys are just better bets.
Yeah, I would take CMC over Kelce too, especially because I wanted to note that FFPC historically pretty running back heavy. Now, this might not be your grandfather's FFPC draft with the people in it, so we'll have to see how it sorts out. For me, like if we're talking about who we want first, second, third, we're going Chase or Jefferson at 2. And then, at like 3-2, 2-11, I want to hit on Calvin Ridley, and I want to hear how you guys feel about that, because to me, I think, Trevor could definitely push for the passing record. It's nice that we can get Trevor at a discount to the other potential elite quarterbacks. And he should go ahead of these like Devonta Smith, T. Higgins, these wide receiver twos in my mind, because it's just like he's an alpha on that team in my mind. Kyle, how you feel about Ridley?
Yeah, I mean, I do like Ridley, but like he was an alpha in 2020, right? 2020 was.
But he's one of us.
He got hurt.
Dude got banned for gambling.
He was a 2019 alpha.
It was no way it was 2019. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
he got hurt.
He got hurt. He got hurt in 2020. No. You're right. He got hurt in 2021.
Yeah, 2021 he got hurt. He didn't play like enough games for us to say anything about him. 2022 he didn't play at all. 2020 he was great in 2020. Like I think he was obviously like incredible back then, but like one team wanted nothing to do with him, and it didn't cost a ton to acquire him, and he hasn't been who we like know him to be in a long time.
It's just like it's the ascending Trevor Lawrence versus like the dying Matt Ryan. It's like I just want to be in on the Trevor ascension.
I like Trevor too. Like I think he has very much like Joe Burrow in the Joe.
Yeah, like 5,000 passing yards is like.
I think it's also possible that he really nukes, and Calvin Ridley is just good, and it's a much more spread out than the way you get like Chase is all of the yards then Higgins. I think Ridley could be a really good player and not great, and it's not prohibitive to Lawrence. But I agree. I want to be on the Jags. I just think like the profile of guy who is he's got to be pretty old now too, because he came into the league as kind of an older prospect. Guy
we need to compare them.
He's going to turn 29 this year. He's 18 months younger than Cooper Kupp.
But it's like okay, DK Metcalf. Like I like DK for the sprint, but like he has questions, right? Like JSN's in there now. Devonta Smith, definitely, probably like very good.
Well, if we sun run, we don't have to deal with any of this, and we take.
I mean, if we sun run, I think we get Pollard at the 211.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Pollard at the 211. Let's get these mustaches.
Especially like the Cowboys schedule, man. The Cowboys 3-week sprint schedule is just like the nuts. It's like Lions, Bills, Dolphins, Lions. Like that seems very good to me.
Yeah, it's either they're killing weak defenses or they're playing in high scoring games. They're all like they're all high total games, 100%. So
yeah, like we might not love the Bills one depending on how that defense looks, but like in Miami in a dome, like sign me up.
So another thing about Ridley is that Lawrence is like I did my first slow main event the other day, and we got Lawrence at like the 806. So he is a quarterback with like mega ceiling who you don't have to pay the crazy price tag for. Like he's cheaper in that. Yeah. He's significantly cheaper in this than he is in the best ball drafts, which I think is nice.
And I would take Kirk with Ridley too, and just kind of
I'm not as big on that.
If you're taking Ridley, I think you're really betting on him like alphaing. Like he is the clear number one of this team, and I think that hurts Kirk. Kirk's like he's like just a guy plus kind of guy. You put him on a team with an alpha, and he's not. I don't say he's not relevant, right? But it is big for him because he's not a guy who like can really like. Dude, he couldn't body out Zay Jones. Like they were basically even in weighted opportunity, right?
Yeah.
You put an actual alpha on that team, like he's in a bad spot. So like, it's not the end of the world.
I'm just wondering if he's like, if he's like the cover 2 guy. He's just like in the slot, moving the ball downfield. Like Ridley's like hits the ground running 30%, and then target share, and then it's like, but Kirk is still getting 8 catches a game, and really,
I don't think he is. They'd have to pass so many times for that to happen. They're not going to be a high pass rate.
8 catches is a lot of catches.
What if like Zay Jones is just sent to the shadow round though, right?
But why? Like for what like?
But like, he's just running clear out routes, and it's like Kirk in the middle, and Ridley and Evan Ingram, and
like one player in the NFL last year had 8 catches per game, and it was Cooper Kupp.
Okay, 6 catches, whatever. Like
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think Kirk is just like last year was such a clear, like he's good. And when the team doesn't have anyone better than him, he can earn targets. Like he hardly out targeted Zay Jones. So you put if the take is that Calvin Ridley's an alpha, it comes off of like he's eating Kirk's lunch. That's where it comes from. It comes from the guy who's kind of fraudulently walking into the targets.
Yeah, I mean, Zay Jones had 121 targets. Kirk had 133. Like, not being able to out earn.
I
think for the 3 weeks, like, how about reaching on JSN at the 5-2? Because he's a guy I would really like to quote unquote.
JSN.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not as big on him, but I am really in on that offense. So like, I wouldn't quibble with you guys that much about.
So I think it would be like Chase, question mark pick. Then we get Ridley. We get JSN at the 5-2. And the real thing to me is the running backs. It's like, which range of running backs do you want to be in? Do you want to be in that Charbonnet, Rashad Penny, those types of guys? Or do you want to be in the David Montgomery and gang? Let me make sure I'm sharing this with you guys. The draft is
all right. He took Jefferson, so
we're gonna take Chase, and then I'll get we'll just share it.
I will say I'm probably voting against Ridley. I'm guessing there's someone I like there more.
I'm the same, and I think there is a decent chance. So the first team just took Jefferson at 1. My guess is that they are a threat to take like Big Dog or something there. So they would probably leave us a wide receiver.
No, we take Ridley at the 3-2 is what I'm saying. Because his ADP is regularly it's still in the 3-4 on FFPC. The Titans get pulled up, plus the FFPC market is just slow to adjust due to the volume of drafts. So not a lot of people are going to have the Chase Ridley pairing. Like, they still will have their T. Higgins, they'll have their Devonta Smiths, they'll have their what have you.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Even at the 3-2, I'm guessing there's someone I like more than him. No guarantees. but I just think like the 8-year-old who hasn't been productive in 3 years, changing teams, is probably like a very bad bet historically. I get it though. Like I'm not like he's not like a 0 for me that I'm.
But like okay, so like Chris Olave, Devonta Smith, Ramondre, Hawkinson, the quarterbacks. Who is
definitely
it?
Definitely not Hawkinson.
I'm so glad we're not drafting Hawkinson.
I like Hawkinson, but it's okay to pass.
There's like a pretty good chance that Olave or Devonta Smith would be there for us, depending on how.
And what I'm trying to say is like, aren't we going to look back on the season and be like, wow, we were taking Derek Carr's, alpha versus Trevor Lawrence's?
Yeah. Like basically no chance of that to me.
Olave had one of the greatest rookie seasons of the past 20 years last year.
It's very good. I like him. I just worry that the Saints are going to win a bunch. I mean, in PPR, it's different, but I don't know. It's like also like the deep bomb, which is part of Olave's game, right? Like it's not
11 dome games, buddy. Read a book.
The dome games.
Bijan. Okay. All right. Is the potential boomer flag here? This is important for later decision making. Number 6 just took Bijan ahead of Tyreek. I'm not saying it's not fine, but it is a boomer flag to remember.
It's a tell. He's showing his hand on what kind of drafter he or she is.
Yes.
I mean, you said
Jason goes Kelsey.
Liam, you said the deep bomb stuff isn't Derek Carr's. Like, is Andy Dalton the deep bomb expert that you've proposed? Like,
no, fair point, but it's just like, I don't know who's going to get the touchdowns in that Saints offense. Like,
Olave was a good touchdown producer close anyways.
Just you got Taysom, you got the 5 tight ends, you got the 4 running backs, you got Michael Thomas. I'm not ready to write off as dead like others are.
Yeah, but you're just bag defending there.
No, I don't have a huge bag on him, but I have enough where like I'm not going to be sick if he just hits the ground running with 15 to 20 point games again. The other players that are really devalued in this ADP are guys like Gabe Davis and gang. I mean, they could be still annoying start-sit situations. Mike Williams is like really devalued on this site. Like guys like Deontay Johnson goes over him.
I really like Deontay Johnson, which is not a sentence I thought I would ever say, but
this is like CEH and Alberto all over again to me. We are not doing Deontay Johnson over Mike Williams.
I really like betting on the Chargers, so I won't dig my feet in that much on that. But I mean, Deontay Johnson, it's really an eye of the beholder thing. I mean, he set an all-time unbreakable record. Honestly, more unbreakable than Calvin Johnson's receiving yardage record or anything Mahomes has ever done. 134 targets and I think 6 carries with 0 touchdowns. It is no one in NFL history has ever done anything that inefficient.
Kenny Pickett threw 9 touchdowns. Like, is he going to double that figure this year? Are we going to get to 18?
Yeah, that's another eye of the beholder situation. Like if I'm feeling in a really charitable mood, you can kind of squint and see it with Pickett. Remember you watched him at the truck stop, Liam, and you were really impressed. You thought he had a lot of moxie.
Yeah, you said he had like 2 3-and-outs to open his game, and you were like, he was actually really good at the start of the game.
You know, eye of the beholder, I guess. You're not.
Yeah.
I would still, like Mike Williams is moving into the slot. Rumors are they want to push their ADOT now. The question is like, do we think cover 2 is here to stay, and how are teams going to try to beat that? Because the NFL is like a constantly evolving meta, and we want to target the players that we think are. It's like the Chargers want to have a deep ADOT. You don't get to just do that necessarily if they're just sitting safeties down.
I mean, I think the cover 2 thing is sort of interesting because it's the meta in the NFL is constantly shifting. And my guess would be
the thing Liam just said, correct?
Yes. You're repeating.
Kellen. Well, so think about like what Kellen Moore and Ben Johnson would have been doing all off season. These dudes would have been in the lab being like, what can we do to not make my playmaking quarterback have to behave like 37-year-old Ben Roethlisberger? Like, what can we do? So I believe last year was a 10-year low in average depth of target, while pass rate over expected had never been higher. And my guess is that we see both things. One, that we see pass rate over expected trend back down a little bit, but also that we see ADOT trend back up a little bit.
Kyle, have you put in any thought about how the defense could change in the NFL?
I mean, I think it's probably a little overblown in that, like, it's a very easy thing to say, that, like, oh, we're seeing more cover 2, and like the ADOT is dropping or whatever. But like,
I'm not charting defensive stats. Like,
yeah,
I'm
exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
it's sad. Sure, I believe
this
it.
Is something that I think even Kevin Cole, really smart football, like actual football mind, talked about on your pod, Davis, the take cast sometime in the offseason at some point. Just like the rate at which we see cover 2, it's not like we're seeing like, 80% of snaps they're playing cover 2, and it's just impossible to throw the ball anymore. Like, it is upticking, but it's a small number that is increasing as the years go on. It's something that I would say is on the many, many lists of things. Like, you can use that as a tiebreaker, but like, who do I think is the better cover 2 beater is not going to be what I use to decide between Mike Williams and Deontay Johnson. Like, that's just not nearly a large enough factor in what I'm projecting for them that it is going to decide. Like, the deciding factor to me is going to be like, oh, Justin Herbert's likely to, or has a good shot at throwing for 5,000 yards. Steelers are windmilling if Kenny Pickett gets to 3,500. That's a more deciding factor, frankly, than like cover 2 percentages.
So the 11-hole drafter, I just admire this man. This is a man who doesn't care about anything. All he cares about is
the big dog.
He took Mark Andrews 10 spots ahead of ADP, and he took Eric Henry 10 spots ahead of ADP. I have nothing but respect for that. I mean, he just came in and he said, I'm going to out alpha everybody.
I'm gonna start building with you.
We are trending towards, I think, potentially being able to get Pollard here, because it looks like we are in a vintage Piss Boys draft.
I don't see the ship shaping crew giving us that, but maybe.
No, they want to take Mahomes because they have Kelsey.
True, but it's not like we're gonna grab Kelsey.
And I was gonna say they also. Well, I mean, they probably would suspect that they can push Mahomes past us. Like they would reasonably think we're not going to take him. Maybe not though.
I'm going to start adding guys like Breece Hall too, guys who we could just.
Okay, Pollard goes. I mean, Olave is for sure my bet, but that's who I bet they take right here.
I would love for Olave to get snatched up.
So we're both just going to vote for Devonta Smith if you.
Correct.
Don't want Olave.
I'm a Smith over Olave. Giants, I don't know.
Yeah, I think they're snatching up Olave from us.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind the
taking Olave
quote
for
unquote
sure.
double reach on Ridley and Brees, where it's like we just have two dudes who could go for 30 any given week. And how do you guys feel about the reaching? Like, I watched Hard Knocks last night. He was not in the episode, so we didn't learn anything from that.
Brees Hall.
Yeah, he was not in the episode.
Yeah,
I like
Brees Hall
Brees
is
a lot.
Brees is a really good pick in contests that are weighted towards the final weeks. The issue with taking Brees in a format like this is if you start out with motherfucker. Okay, we are eight ball here.
Go to the queue. Let's see what we're vibing with here. Yeah, man, not great.
We really
They go Olave,
they
so
took Olave.
I don't mind locking up the elite quarterbacks. We didn't talk about it.
I think T. I think T is probably who we take. I hate it.
Faith, I don't think that's a great plan.
Oh, you're right.
With it.
I would be down for
I think
Hurts.
there's nothing wrong with it.
Hurts,
I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but I think it's just I think
how is
Hurts
it different than the Kirk Ridley thing to you?
Because they're both better. They're both better.
Yeah.
I would vote for Hurts and just I think a lesson from last year is those elite quarterbacks in for
let's get our picks in. I vote Higgins.
Sure. I'm gonna go Hurts.
Kyle, who you want?
I vote Higgins. If you're fine with Hurts, though, I'm also fine with that. I wouldn't be my pick, but
Davis, you're down with Hurts?
We just got put in jail there. Just like that. Like I think there's after Olave and Devonta go, I think there's a giant tier break.
Hurts is like they're gonna actually have to play the fourth quarter this year. Like their schedule's way harder, and that's like he could score. He could average
the thing that I really don't like about what we just did is we are playing him naked because I'm not going to pay the Dallas Goedert FFPC price.
I'm cool with the naked price. Like this is the dude to roll naked, and Dallas Goedert I would consider late, but not a requirement. All right, who do we want on our next pick? I got Ridley in the queue. I got Brees in the queue.
Well, I think we go T. If he's there, right?
I think we go T. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm Ridley over T. Like I would want a team's wide receiver 1 over the 2.
Well, let me
why don't you like Deontay Johnson? You know.
Okay, T goes.
I'm cool with Gibbs or Jacobs.
I'd vote Brees here, and then I'd vote the running backs here over Ridley. I'd be okay getting outvoted on that, though. I'm not like
one thing.
I just love locking in Chase and Ridley to our wide receiver spots, and then being
one thing to note on Jacobs is that he has a week 13 bye, which means that we might be in the first round of the playoffs and not have our third round pick, which is, I think, a reasonable shift in equity.
My vote's Ridley.
Right. My vote's Brees.
Kyle,
David. I really don't like taking Brees, but I don't really like taking Ridley here either. This is
you have a third pitch. I'm down to hear a third pitch.
Ramondre Hawkinson.
I want to go Ridley because I think we're going to get caught in a piss boys draft. I think the running back values we're going to like later.
All right.
Okay.
Those were two picks that I don't feel great
about.
I
like it. Guys, we are for the I just remember every single week looking at the teams we're facing, and when we were trying to fill in with Jared Goff, and we tried
Kenny Pickett. You really wanted to fill in with Kenny
Pickett. We were playing that game, and it feels so good to just lock in the Hurt.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, we think that now, but then, smash cut to us trying to make, who do we start? Jelani Woods or Tegan Quintaro?
No, dude, we're gonna get Kincaid or Musgrave or Darren Waller in the 5th is the consideration for me. I'm Waller over Goddard and Pitts, and maybe even Kittle is Waller is going to be the engine of that team. And that's the kind of player in the passing game, at least. That's the kind of guy.
I can't believe you wanted to take Jalen Hurts over Josh Allen and that I didn't just want to take Mahomes instead of Jalen Hurts.
I take Hurts over Mahomes. Maybe the little bit of passing boost should lean towards Mahomes, but I don't know. I would still go. I think I'd still go Hurts over Mahomes.
Yeah, I mean, Allen, Hurts, I don't think you could go wrong. They're clear tier better.
I don't think you. I don't
mean,
think
look
you
at this
can go
playoff
wrong.
schedule, guys. Seahawks, Giants, Cardinals. Hurts is going to give us like literally maybe 100 points or more those 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, just the thing is it's the backfilling stack with Mahomes and honestly with Allen is so nice, and you don't have that. I think we blew it there a
I
little
mean,
bit.
you think it's really nice until you're like, oh, Sky Moore played 13 snaps last week. There goes my
sure.
sack.
Okay, good point. Good point.
I'm out on Sky, man. Like I think
I'm out on his rising price. I still would I'll still take him on like sites where his ADP isn't going nuclear, but I don't know. Yeah, that's the thing is oh, dude, well, I figured out this Justin Ross backstack, and then Justin Ross cut August.
Okay,
30th.
I think
I would much rather have our start than what ship chasing did though, where they
I would take ship chasing start.
No, I'd take their start. Their start's
no,
better.
but you have to find the second wide receiver now, and I just think we're gonna find a tight end.
Take 9 wide receivers. I want we are to the 3-7, and Jacobs and Brees and those guys are still there. So I think that was the right call with the Piss Boys room. This is going to be a room that really
and
takes
we can kind
receivers.
of start the fear, where it's now people are like, oh, what the hell? Calvin Ridley just went at the 3-2.
What was Ridley's ADP? How far do we take him ahead of ADP?
He always goes into 3-4. So it's just we're just doing a different combo.
We took him a couple of spots ahead of 8. The thing for me,
his ADP is after Keenan, it's after Metcalf, it's right behind, it's right next to Debo and Brees.
So we took him 10 spots ish ahead.
That doesn't feel great for a player I didn't want to draft.
Yeah, but think about the uniqueness of the combo, Kyle.
Yeah, it's the same exact
place in our league. Our uniqueness.
Yeah, I remember that from I went back and I watched the one we did last year, and you just screamed at me about the Albert. I said, we're taking the most expensive share of Albert O in the contest, and I had probably been hounding on uniqueness, and you're uniqueness.
Yeah, we were also making fun of someone who basically did the Andrews Henry start of this draft, but with players I think we didn't even want to draft, and we were all oh, the unique combos of this team, and they certainly beat us.
I mean, we dodged some bullets though. We almost went Fournette over Debo. Now Debo obviously got hurt and disappointed, but we could have just really fell apart.
Well, I mean, Peter and Pat and I famously drafted the only Justin Jefferson, Derrick Henry team in the entire main event, and turned out it didn't matter.
I feel great about it. You guys will come around once Ridley hits the ground with a 30 ball.
No, I don't. I think this specific pick with the Jonathan Taylor stuff is the 1.1 and the 1.2. You have much harder wrap picks now, where there's a group of I don't really think Calvin Ridley, Keenan Allen, and DK Metcalf have all that. In fact, I think Calvin Ridley probably has the best 75th percentile season of any of those guys, and they're all pretty close at the median anyway, to me.
I think the Hurts pick I would have listed about doing differently, but all it does when you take Hurts is it just puts pressure on you to hit those mid-range running backs, find those wider outs, find those tight ends. And it's when we're trying to win first anyways, let's go. You go looking at the leaderboard of those teams that made the sprint last year, I think they all had.
Damn, Debo went pretty early.
Mahomes. Yeah, I think maybe one other thing.
That's where Ridley would have gone.
One other thing I don't like about the Hurts pick is we've invested a ton in the top receiver for the Bengals and the top receiver for the Jags, and we like both of those quarterbacks.
And we're locked out of the quarterback. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's even in the weeks that those quarterbacks go for 30, Hurts can go for
sure.
I mean,
if Hurts is going for 35, 40, then he's probably taking AJ Brown with him. Not that I think we made some egregious decision, but
now we're actually playing it like he just in the playoff sprint, he just scores 7 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's a terrible decision, but I think I'd probably have preferred us to do something else instead of Hurts and try and get our Trevor Lawrence or Joe Burrow later.
Well,
it's not
let's just
terrible.
let's just play like we're gonna win this individual 12-man league, get our $4,000 prize, and run it back next year. You know what I'm saying?
We've already.
No, we're
conceded that we
playing
can't
to
dip.
win first. And I think Hurts is a great way to give you a shot. I mean, you got to make the sprint first to win it, right? Like, and I'm not an advanced rate guy, but in a contest like this,
I mean, the teams so often that win these things are just so much more boring and vanilla than you would imagine going back and looking at their draft. Like, so I don't
Waller
know.
goes at the 4-3, so we don't even get a shot at him at the 5. I only did one slow main event so far. I got Waller at the 5-5, I think. So
Is anyone in here interested in Kyle Pitts?
I was just looking at what his ADP was.
It's like our pick exactly.
Oh, daddy, come on.
Not really. I would
love to take Kyle Pitts.
Well, we're doing some polling here. NBC is doing some polling, and it looks like Kyle Pitts would win a vote if he makes it to us.
For me, Christian Watson and JSN is a pretty sexy combo.
One of those guys will be there coming back around for us.
There's no way JSN makes it back to us at 6-11. Or no, sorry. Yes, he will.
Okay, team 11, by the way, goes Mark Andrews, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, Lamar Jackson. This dude all he wants to do on Sunday is crush beers and order Wingstop and just watch his team just spit fantasy points.
He doesn't
I bet
need
this guy
to do any
lives
weight.
such a happier life than I do. I don't know if he makes more money than I do, but he's certainly happier.
That dude,
like he might lose this more often than we do. He's having a good time.
He's starting Juju Smith-Schuster and Zay Jones at his wide receiver, and he's going to beat us every week.
Yeah, I know.
Are you guys? I threw Amari Cooper in there too.
No, I'm using my one veto on Amari Cooper. I'm not taking a dude who's going to play all those. He's going to play all those playoff
I would like Christian Watson. Are there any of these running backs you want to like? Nope. Aaron Jones or anyone? Or
hell no.
For me, then it's Christian Watson and Goddard. Like, I don't know though. That might be so stacked. So I'm okay doing the Pitts thing.
We are taking Kyle Pitts if he's there.
I'm fine with that. I think maybe like a smarter person than me would say like actually the value of the correlation of Goddard is better, but I'd take Kyle Pitts over him. So
yeah, to me it's like, okay, yeah, we do gain some value of the correlation, but Dallas Goedert has 0 80 catch seasons in his range, and Pitts has a bunch.
Well, when Devonta Smith rolls an ankle week 1, obviously that's the Goddard smash.
Yeah, but also that's bad for Hurts, so we're like kind of having to split hairs.
Goddard goes. We don't even have to worry about it.
Cool. Let's get Kyle Pitts. Let's just do it.
He
might not make it. Oh, they got Kelsey. I was going to say he might not make it past stat chasing, but they probably aren't taking with Kelsey. So.
Dude, people are afraid by Pitts, including me somewhat. It's just like, how many yards you guys got from Ritter this year? How many yards and touchdowns?
I don't care. Kyle Pitts is getting 50% of them.
I was going to say, you can name whatever. He gets 2,000, and that's a 1,000-yard season from Kyle Pitts right there. You can book it.
Okay. Who is the wide receiver you want to go? I'm using my veto on Jerry Jeudy. If you would. So for me, Pitts and Watson.
I would go Cooper. I mean, like, I don't know. I think the weather
Cooper's
stuff
tempting
is
there.
Overblown by an extreme amount.
This was a really bad pick by he could have, like, none of us are taking Herbert.
Yeah, that was egregious.
Yeah, he could have wrapped
by
8 more picks or whatever.
Yeah, you just need to, for anyone who's confused, you need to see when people in your turn.
They're going to take Christian Watson right here, I bet.
Well, I think the Jefferson drafter could grab Watson. They at least have the one game of correlation.
So we're Pitts at this one spot, right? Our first spot up here.
Pitts is our first spot.
We can run the clock down and talk about who we want next. I would honestly vote Amari Cooper, but I'm fine if you guys
I'm using a veto on Amari. Amari Cooper would be 6th for me of the wide receivers who are in the queue right now.
I think Christian Watson has a much better ceiling than Cooper, but Cooper's like going to give you that boring 20.
I like Kyle Pitts and Watson, and I think we can maybe get them both. But Pitts,
Cooper's like a 12th or 11th in target share last year, and his quarterback is.
Are you worried that? Do you think Deshaun's going to like bounce back and be fine or no?
They just have to play all those games in the freezing cold in the playoffs.
Yeah, but like how, like, what do you think the odds are? Like, you know, we know the weather statistics. Like, you have to get to like true like 0 negative degrees for it to matter. You have to get true like 25,
Bucks,
30 mile an
Panthers,
hour winds for it
Vikings
to matter.
is a really great schedule for Christian Watson, where he like it's not a great sign for the Panthers defense, who has a good secondary, that they're signing like Justin Houston, who's like how old
did you
is he?
pronounce the word Houston as Houston?
I know I did it wrong. Justin Houston. He's like how old? He's like 35. Like the fact that they need edge rushers.
Yeah, I mean, I think like sure, the Browns.
I really want Watson with this pick. I'd be fine with Watson. Watson's going to outscore Pitts by a lot of points, but it is a risk. I think it's our best chance of getting both of them to pass on Watson first.
I guess the expected number of like terrible, the total drops by 10 points or, 8 points type of games for the Browns in that 3-week stretch is like 0.2 or something. It's not 0. It's more than.
I mean,
they go IU, so they're just like off the board here.
They had 2 of those games last year. For
what's the difference between Christian Watson and Chris Olave?
One of them's better. Yeah, let's.
I mean, I understand like Watson like sun ran touchdowns, but he should have like with his usage and
he plays his games outdoors. His quarterback's
for a rookie in the. Yeah, Olave had one of the best target shares.
Okay,
for
Amari Cooper goes. I'm Watson here.
Cool.
Watson, you're cool with the
easy non-decision. No DJ Moore there. No, I mean I don't care. It's
no
DJ Moore.
No
if we had set ourselves up for taking Fields, I would have been.
Sure.
Yeah, I would have been down for Moore and Fields here if we had done something differently.
Yeah, like Chris Olave's yards per route run in the past like 15 years for rookies is sandwiched between Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, and Odell Beckham. Like his target share is sandwiched between like those players and like Sammy Watkins and stuff. Like it was one of the best rookie seasons ever, and that is extremely predictive for future success, as evidenced by Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase being the guys who are in his range.
I'm not knocking Olave. What I'm asking is like, what are the blemishes on Watson that he is 3?
He was not that. The thing is, Olave was one of the best rookies ever, and Watson was good. He's good. Like I'm not saying he's not good, but like there are differences between good and bad players. Like and Olave was incredible, and Watson was very good. And that distinction, I think, is really important.
I'm just like so confident that we're winning the million with this start. Kyle Pitts is, whatever. He's on the team, but
hey, if it makes you feel better, Liam, I think it's actually still fine to take Kincaid because
yes,
we can flex. I don't mind. I don't mind flex. If Kincaid
at the like 9 to he goes in the 9th, so like that's when so it's like who do you prefer, Zay Flowers or Kincaid? Like that's the kind of decision, and to me, like Kincaid's he's much better in managed too, where we're just like swinging to upside, and you
just sit him every week. You don't have to worry about him getting in your lineup. You just don't play him. You don't.
Guys, we took Albert O in the 9th last year, right? Like this is a different bet we're making with Kincaid.
Oh, it's a very similar bet, in fact, because they're both going to be backups.
No, dude, like. What about the buzz on Kincaid in camp? Is that just made up to you, Kyle, or are we sticking our head?
Sherfield has more targets than him in camp, so I'd call it buzz. That doesn't make any sense. Like,
who has more targets?
Trent Sherfield.
No, that was taken way out of context. That one clip. No.
Kyle is InfoWarsing Trent Sherfield stats from Trent.
Wait, no, like there was one athletic report that Trent Sherfield had 6 targets. But like that ignores the like situation that they're practicing, or the fact that like Diggs was on the sideline when Sherfield was getting his targets.
But so we're not counting the targets. We're just looking at the like padless catches that Dalton like. It feels like we're like, oh, you can throw out the stats I don't like, but give me the ones I do like that are actually not stats.
No, but I mean, like, do you think you have real stats on the Bills practice camp, or are you just citing that one athletic report where it said Kincaid has 3 catches and Sherfield has 6? Is that?
No, I actually think like most of training camp is almost completely unpredictable. But what I'm saying is like for every like Dalton Kincaid made a good catch, there's a Trent Sherfield has more targets. I think training camp is way overblown. I'm just saying like if you want to take some of it, you have to take all of it. Like you can't be like, oh, I want to listen to the parts that I like. I actually think it's all garbage, frankly.
To me, it's just being like forward thinking. It's like the Bills drafted this guy right after those wide receivers. If you believe them, like they wanted to trade with the Giants and go get him above them. They valued him as the best pass catcher. This is a team where it's like people want to say Gabe Davis is not that great. And, I agree. Like maybe he's not that great. He just gets to play with a quarterback who has a huge arm and is going to throw for a lot of touchdowns, right? And like maybe Gabe Davis is really good in the ankle injury plus the Josh Allen elbow. But if the league is running cover 2, maybe they drafted with Kincaid with the plan after they got, pushed out of the playoffs several years due to Travis Kelce. Maybe they're like
something else about this draft. Trevor Lawrence just went 5'6". I got him in the 8th round the other day, so I feel a little bit better about.
Well, I was going to say that it makes the Hurts pick feel great, right?
Yeah, because we would have been extremely tilted to have this 6'11" lined up for Trevor Lawrence and have him go 5'6".
No, we would have taken Burrow at 5'11", so it's like
he went 4'9". We wouldn't have. Oh no, yeah, we would have got him. Never mind.
We would have taken Burrow.
He meant 5'2", yeah.
But like those 2v2, like okay, exchanging Pitts for Burrow and another guy there, maybe I like that more. But Pitts can still do it, so I'm cool with getting a share on a tight end premium. And
only nearly the greatest rookie season for a tight end ever. Maybe he can still do it. Maybe not. Who knows?
He was 20. He was 20 when the season started.
Wheels up. We're wheels up right now.
I didn't want to have to be the guy that said this. I was hoping Kyle would say it before me, but we probably should be interested in taking DeAndre Swift in this draft.
I am getting real worried that Penny is ahead of him, and I think
Penny is ahead of him.
For such a great start, I don't know if I want to hitch my wagon to Swift, who is either such a smash or such a disappointment.
Well, I thought
we do already have a lot of the such a smash or such a disappointment guys with like Ridley, where like his floor outcome is he's a 29-year-old player who hasn't played in 3 years, and his ceiling outcome is he was so good in Atlanta and the offense is good.
I'm a really big
same thing.
Damian. Let's talk about running backs real quick because we need them. I'm a really big Dameon Pierce guy.
I am too. I like him.
Why?
Yeah.
For what reason?
Really good O-line, easy schedule. Like just past the vibe on like watching him play. Looked really good and explosive.
Yeah, okay. Mine's none of that. It's that he is sort of your classic dead zone running back from years past, but because the dead zone, much like the Overton window in the United States has shifted right, the dead zone window has shifted later, so you're taking on less risk taking those guys. And he's got, I think, 2 pretty important outs. The first being, what if Stroud is a B- NFL quarterback? That is a huge upgrade over what he was last year. But I think the most telling thing is that they signed Devin Singletary to this like very nothing deal.
Yeah, that's a great sign for Swift that Singletary's there, or for Pierce that he's there.
Because they could have been the David Montgomery team. They could have been the team that took Zach Charbonnet. Like they had extra picks. Like they could have done they could have been a Fournette team. Like they could have done all this stuff, and they didn't. Like Devin Singletary is effectively Rex Burkhead or Royce Freeman or whatever.
I mean, given that they signed him well before we see like a Fournette sign, I would say like he's at least Fournette,
Yeah,
so the players I have in the queue right now are Pierce, JSN, James Cook, Miles Sanders, David Montgomery, DeAndre Swift, Gabe Davis. And
by the way, Team 11, Terry McLaurin. They got a huge ADP faller in Terry McLaurin. Like this is always what these teams that are so alpha do, is they get one wide receiver who falls unnecessarily, and they just that guy scores 213 PPR points, and they just make everyone eat it.
Yeah, I mean, with Pierce, like he was fine. He was a good tackle breaker last year, but it's like not the stickiest stat. He wasn't like as good in like the next gen stuff. He's not a pass catcher. Like he was terrible in like pass catching stats last year. And he's an offense that projects to be bad. Like sure, they could be good. But you can say any team can be good. Like their median outcome is quite poor. So like 2 down banger on a bad team. And I don't know does ETR think their line is good? Because I know like PFF is
Pierce ran a lot of routes. Pierce ran way more routes. That he is not a 2-down.
Their O-line is good.
PFF says they're bad, so I don't know. Maybe ETR says they're good.
I'll look at the ETR stuff.
I don't.
Yeah, if they say he's good, or if they say the line is good, like I'm totally willing to, say they're probably
pretty sure they do. I listened to the Brandon Thorne episode. I mean, in this 3-week sprint, like the Browns weren't they a pretty bad run defense by like design? Like,
that is too niche for me. I can't.
No, but
I can't get there.
Brandon Staley
Actually,
wants to be a bad run
I think
defense.
you're right about that one.
And then
Okay,
the Titans, like 2 games against the Titans in the sprint, like Pierce could score a lot of points in those games against the Titans, even though they have a good run D.
Okay, so Texans, third most money spent on the offensive line. They have 2 really good tackles in Tunsil and Howard, and they are Brandon Thorne's 13th ranked offensive line. So pretty good, I think.
They're probably, they're probably average. I don't know. 13 isn't that great? Fine,
But are we
average.
both are we down on I think JSN is a pick for us if he's here. And other than that, we double tap running back.
They're going to take JSN though.
Well, that's what I was
actually 100% they are. 100% they are.
Yeah.
No Javonte here. Like,
are you
clearly
guys
the most talented back that we're talking about? No Javonte.
I'm good with Javonte.
I am worried about him, but I'm okay doing it with you guys.
I thought we were
taking over Pierce.
I thought we were trying to win $1 million.
No, someone else has got him as we talk him up. What about Tyler Lockett also? Like,
Lockett is my vote, actually.
He's banged up in practice, man.
No, log out of that. He's 30 years old. The dude won't get tackled in the NFL game. He's fine.
Do we want to try and swing him around? Because team 1 is...
Is he going to be a meaningful guy in the weeks you need to make the money?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't see why not. Why would that not?
Like, if JSN is just the target.
Kyle makes a good point. We should take a running back first because team 1 is more likely. I think they want to double tap running back here.
Yeah, we're going Pierce first, but I'm okay.
What running backs do we have? Because I would vote for these running backs. All suck. There is no difference between any of these running backs.
I think Swift obviously has ceiling and correlates with our team. I like Pierce.
No one likes it, but James Conner is going to.
James Conner, I'm not taking. I think honestly, this is so. I think
Pierce is our first pick.
Swift is my vote.
I'd rather go Swift. I'm okay grabbing Swift and Penny and Gainwell. I would consider Kamara too, but these are not guys I draft a lot of, so they're not. What do
you think, Kyle?
Is Cam Akers in the doghouse again too? Like, what's going on with him?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Apparently,
give me Swift correlation.
Let's do.
He's good at football. Let's team it.
Right, we're doing Pierce first. Right?
No, do we not have any receivers we want? Yeah, Swift.
This is by ADP. They're going to take Pierce though.
I don't want Pierce.
No, we want to take Lockett. We want to take Lockett with our next pick.
You guys are Swift over Pierce. This is a bad pick.
Yes. Yeah.
I just feel like we have such a solid team that we
got to do it.
I'm historically a DeAndre Swift guy, so I'm okay with it, but I really want Pierce.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a 2-down banger on a bad team. Like, he was 36 in yards per route run. He was...
Dude, Singletary's one of the worst pass-catching backs in the league. Like, what is good? What was good about his pass catching?
Do you think... what do you think Singletary's job is going to be then? Because if you think they play... I think they signed him to do that. He's also not good at it, but...
I am just so confident that we could have gone Pierce Swift, and I would have been up for that.
And now we take Lockett.
You see, I probably didn't want 2 running backs here, so it's fine with me. Lockett, easily.
Gabe Davis is going to score more points than Lockett.
What would make you say that? Because Gabe Davis has not really been very good.
The ankle injury and
Lockett is the pick.
I'm moving him up. No, I mean, Hollywood's tough. I kind of like Hollywood more than okay, fine. Fuck it. Lockett.
What do you mean fine? As if there's a choice. You got to vote.
I feel good about
Swift. Could be totally the CEH pick that you guys forced us into last year.
He could also be the Miles Sanders pick. He literally could be the Miles Sanders.
No, but I tout the Miles Sanders, and the Miles Sanders was Dameon Pierce.
I didn't want 2 running backs here. I don't want to load myself up with these guys who are not they're not good or their teams are not nearly invested in them enough for me to care. Swift is
the thing is obviously the running backs we want in the next round are guys like Charbonnet and Penny and Dillon, but there's no guarantee we get that range. We could be staring down the barrel at Tank and Warren are guys I like.
That's
that
fine.
is a huge.
We're gonna take Zach Charbonnet. And we're going to take maybe Devin Achane, maybe Tank Shitsby, probably Rashad Penny.
Yeah,
Definitely,
to me,
we
the
got to
difference
take
between
Gainwell on this team. We absolutely have to get both of them.
Are we just going Swift, Penny, Gainwell? I'm down with it.
Probably not Penny, but definitely Gainwell.
Well, I would not be doing all three of them. I wouldn't even do two of them. I don't
We
think.
get to just kind of like see how it sorts out and know we locked in the very, one guy goes down.
Yeah, but like think about like we're going to be competing with teams who just got it right and didn't burn the picks. They got good picks where we got some bad picks. Like I wouldn't want to be going into the final. If this is a 12-team league exclusively, there was no final sprint to it, I'd be okay with it. I don't think I'd still do it, but it's fine. But like we're going to be going into a final round where teams didn't burn 3 picks on this backfield. They just got it right.
I mean, the Gainwell pick is a free pick, right? Like that's
the
not a burn.
Gainwell's like a 14th round pick.
Fine. Yeah. To me, it was Penny and Swift would be a too expensive a comparison. Or
I agree. I agree, and they're also more negatively correlated in the sense that one of them could clearly subsume the other ones, whereas I think Gainwell sort of fits in both.
I would think Gainwell's
Swift
a little.
Is like,
I mean,
like in zero PPR websites, does Swift go ahead of Pierce in group? Not saying that like the ADP is right, but I'm just saying like every single 555 draft I've done, like Pierce is going in this range. I mean, Swift is going in this range, and Pierce is going here. So that to me, I mean, unless we think everyone is drafting wrong, which the market is wrong.
Pierce is one of my least drafted running backs. I just don't get why I want like non-efficient pass catcher to like even
going from like Davis Mills to CJ Stroud has to be like a huge upgrade, right?
Yeah, I think that's right.
I mean, like, what's their win total this year? They're probably like their win total still got to be particularly low. They'll be a better team, but like they're still going to be a losing team far more often than not.
What we don't care about their win total. I know I've watched Devin Singletary so many times, and this dude is not like. Yes, he can pass block. So if Pierce, I don't know about Pierce's pass blocking chops. I know Singletary's good at that, and that's why they kept Singletary over Moss. But I don't know. I really felt like Pierce was the home run, but we're going to make up for it. How do we feel about these next running backs? And do we want to sneak in another wideout, a guy like Gabe Davis if he's there, or Addison? Addison I would be fine with ahead of Davis. I don't think we're going to get these guys, though.
Yeah, we'll see. I think
we just like need to double tap running back in this range to me.
I like Charbonnet. I think Kyle's right about not taking Penny and Swift together.
Charbonnet is my like one of my most drafted players. I do.
Cool.
I think Gibson has trade outs where it's like if that team is bad, he could get traded to like if they decide that like Curtis Samuel is all of a sudden being their whatever scat back type guy.
Who's trading for Gibson after a team has repeatedly said like we're not going to use him, but I'm sure you'll love him? That would be the ultimate. Someone in a trade talk is convincing you you're winning this deal. You're really robbing the blind.
It's the same thing as Swift being traded to the Eagles. Right?
I don't think so because Gibson's not really ever been good where Swift has been really efficient. Just the team doesn't want to use him that way. Gibson's been like extremely inefficient as a runner.
How do you feel about these running backs? I mean, obviously David Montgomery, if he's there, cool with. But for me, it's Charbonnet, and then I think it's the discussion between Brian Robinson.
I mean, I'm racing to the window to click Zach Charbonnet on this next pick, honestly.
Yeah,
I think I'd probably go Brian
Who is
Robinson.
the other running back we want? Like, I don't want to just have
Robinson seems good.
To me, I'd still be fine just going one running back here. I don't think we need a double tap. I don't know what the receivers look like if you pull them up. But to me, it's like Brian Robinson. Like he was immediately as a rookie a better rusher than Antonio Gibson, and he got better down the stretch, which like intuitively makes sense. Got shot in the leg. So like I think he's pretty much a lock to like not a lock, but he's a very good bet to stonewall Gibson for 2 down work. He's probably not getting anything on 3rd downs, but
I'd be down to go Charbonnet and Gabe Davis. How do you guys feel about Gabe?
He's fine this year. I don't mind him at this price. He's fine.
Davis?
Yeah. I think we take a running back first. Davis seems fine. I really like Elijah Moore. I really like.
These are Bills fans, and they have 3 running backs. I don't think they're going to take a running back on the inside.
It's a good point. I agree that if we're taking running back, I'm fine trying to swing him to the 9th round as opposed to the 8th round. I agree with that.
I just like, I don't know if I really want to be like after the Jalen Warren and Tank tier. It's just like, I don't know. It's like Deontay Form. Like who are we even happy to have on our team at that point? Algier,
I'm Algier, Roshan, Jeff
Singletary, Roshan, I guess, Zamir,
Fournette.
No.
I'm happy with a lot of those guys, honestly. That's like a good pocket of guys.
I think there's a real tier break there's a mini tier that goes Pierce down to like Montgomery, and then there's another tier that goes like Pacheco down to
Well, I think
Herbert.
he's not gonna get past Peter's team, but if Jahan Dotson fell to us, I would also race to the window to take him.
How do you guys feel about Pacheco versus McKinnon?
I don't really like McKinnon at cost this year, to be honest.
I agree.
Like, is it not possible he was just banged up, and so that's why, like, he was like scorched earth down the end of the season, and then he just got banged up. So like, all right, it's got to be Pacheco.
I mean, it's possible, but he's like 31 years old with a history of injuries. Banged up is part of who he is, I think. Like,
well, and the tricky thing about taking him in the main event, especially as your running back too, is you're not going to be able to start him for like the first 8 weeks of the season because he's literally not going to play. Like they're going to do the same thing that they did with him last year.
Yeah, and even if they don't like entirely do that, there's no ceiling with him. He's never getting like even remotely close to 3 down work. He's getting 1 important down of work and some on early downs, but like,
I mean, the dude won.
I think it's a poor.
He won all tournaments last year, so we can't say he has no ceiling, right? Like he was.
I think he's a weekly ceiling, but I think over the entire, and he was also he wasn't getting drafted last year. Like he was so cheap, obviously, like easy to win tournaments when that's your outcome. Like same with Jamal Williams. Like
he's not comfortable. I agree with you guys. Jameson Williams is another guy I would consider eventually.
I think it's one of the worst picks on the board.
Kincaid.
I mean, we really might get
Evan Ingram is there even like.
We might get Jahan Dotson. I'm really trying not to jinx it, but we really might get
Dotson
him.
Goes.
Fuck.
Fuck. Just off. So what do we got at receiver? I'd be fine.
I'm down with Charbonnet, Brian Robinson, or Charbonnet, Kincaid, or
I like Zay Flowers.
I would take Zay Flowers here too. That would be a pick.
Zay is my vote.
I'll vote with you on that one.
Are we just like 0% worried that there are like Bateman's going to get targets? No one wants him to. Odell's going to get targets. Andrews is still there. Lamar's going to run shit in. Like
you can't. Here's the thing,
Liam,
you can't buy into the Kincaid camp stuff if you're not buying into the Zay Flowers camp stuff.
I think the buzz is good, but that should be noted that was without Bateman there, and also, I mean, like Odell's catching the touchdowns at camp. And
okay, they're gonna take Sky Moore. I vote Zay Flowers.
No, we're going Charbonnet. Let's just go Charbonnet and not risk it.
No. I mean, you said it. You think they won't take a running back. I agree with what you said.
Yeah. I think we go Zay. We let them take Elijah Moore and Cortland Sutton or whoever.
I mean, wide receiver dies after this, so I'm fine with it.
Also, that's also a good point. Like
motherfucker.
Would you do Sky?
No. Let's go Charbonnet and Kincaid, or Charbonnet and Brian Robinson.
I think I want a receiver here.
I think we go wide receiver here. I think let's take Sutton here. Let's take Sutton.
We don't need the wide receiver. Like we are fine at wide out.
I still think we want another receiver.
I think we want one. Who do you like, Kyle?
You go Sutton.
We need 2 running backs. This tier is like this is our chance to not get buried.
I don't think this tier is as big of a drop off at running back as receiver.
Yeah, I don't think it is. I don't think it is either. Let's take you like Elijah Moore more.
I think I like Sutton more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sutton.
I don't know.
Do you guys not like remember the draft at all last year?
He's cheaper now.
I'm just saying on all the like you're not even considering my points here.
I don't get what your point. What is it?
I think
wants
we
a
need to be
running
double
back.
capping running back. Sutton's in the queue.
But that's what the outcome is. What is the like? Why?
Because of the tier of the running backs dries up.
Oh, yeah. Davis and I just don't think that tier is as it doesn't matter as much. Like,
And
guys.
Kincaid is going to score more points than Sutton this year, just like for
on
sure.
like how many snaps do you think he has a decent chance of flipping Dawson Knox?
Yes, I think Kincaid could become the 2 and score. He could have 1,000 yards. Like that's it. Like in his ceiling years, he's going for 1,010.
You think he'd be the best rookie of all time? That's what that would mean.
Well, no, because Mike Ditka played against like dudes in gym shorts. And
you think he'd be the second best? Okay, to be fair, you think he'd be the second best rookie of all time?
I think it would probably require like an injury to like a Diggs to like really eat in that target share, but Diggs is still going to get his. But
all right,
Bateman goes.
Sharps.
I vote Brian Robinson, but I'm okay with
Charbonnet. No question to me.
Yeah,
This
I like
is
Sharps
like
more.
Why so? I feel like this is a team where we actually do need the projected points, and like Charbonnet is a very reasonable bet to go out and not do anything. I like him a lot. I take him a lot, but this would not be a build I would take him in. Also, when we're like, we did gamble a lot with Swift. Like I voted for him, but like it's obviously a gamble that he's like truly a not great committee back. I would take Brian Robinson for the projected points, but as someone who drafts a ton of Charbonnet, I get it.
Brian Robinson.
I mean, we got Kenneth Walker groin outs, and I think the other thing is I just project Seattle's offense to score more touchdowns. So like that's really the big part of it.
But like, do you think they use him at the goal line? Because Walker was like, I mean, he literally got 100% of their carries inside the 5 last year, and he wasn't.
Yeah, but don't you think that the Seattle drafted Charbonnet partially for the reason that Walker was so boomer bust, and they're going to be fed up with that at the goal line, and it's going to be just like, give me those 3 yards. Here you go, Charbonnet.
Maybe.
These jokers took Rashad Penny, which is so funny. I know they feel like they just got one over on us.
Well, it's leverage on our team, but like I would have much rather bailed on Cortland Sutton, who was, by the way, going to be behind Tim Patrick if Tim Patrick was there.
Was he?
Yeah, he was. And so I would have been down for Charbonnet and Brian Robinson, who like I think
you can't have enough wide receivers in this format, honestly.
Why are you so down on Sutton, Liam?
I'm down on the Broncos in general. I just literally don't draft like Sutton. I draft a little bit of, but and I'll draft like an occasional Pirine share. But other than that, I'm just like, they suck.
I like them as a team that has a really wide range of outcomes. They could suck. I think they're a good candidate to suck this year. But Russell Wilson was like one of the best quarterbacks in CPOE. He was good in yards per attempt. He was good in touchdown rate for all of his career until he got a coach who was like a high school level coach playing, coaching in the NFL. I think there's a really high ceiling. Also, he could just suck. But
that's not the only data point. The other data point is that Seattle chose to get rid of him for Geno, and then Geno was good. Now, they did upgrade the O-line, so maybe that was it. And the sick thing about fading the Broncos is, like, I could be right, and then they bench him for Stidham. And, like, Stidham supported a Devontae Adams, like, 40-burger. Yeah.
All right, let's recap. Let's recap the team real quick for the audio listeners. We got Jamar Chase at the 1-2. We took Jalen Hurts at the 2-11. Calvin Ridley at the 3-2. Kyle Pitts and Christian Watson at the 4-5 turn. DeAndre Swift and Tyler Lockett at the 6-7. Cortland Sutton and Zach Charbonnet at the 8-9. Honestly, I mean, doesn't really feel that bad to me. It feels pretty reasonable.
I feel better about the Hurts pick. We briefly mentioned this with like Trevor Lawrence getting jumped up and like Deshaun Watson at the 6-5. Justin Herbert went way earlier than the team needed to take him. I feel better about the Hurts pick with the way the market shook out quarterback. Yeah.
I would have liked to go. For me, the picks I'm not in love with are. I really wanted Dameon Pierce. It's just kind of like a player take thing. And then this Sutton pick, I would have been down to go Penny and Charbonnet, where it's like, potentially
we would have vetoed. We're taking Gainwell later. That's going to be our way to play it.
I'm not even 100% sold on taking Gainwell.
I think burning an 8th or 6th round pick for like getting a league-winning running back is not egregious in a format where you can use the waivers and you can find guys.
Do you think that locks you into a league-winning pick, though? Because they just could be committee backs. Like, imagine splitting Miles Sanders' role more in half last year.
No,
There's no
one of the. I feel very strongly that one of Penny, Swift, or Gainwell will approximate, quote unquote, the guy you needed. I think the rushing production in that offense, just the running back production in general, is going to be massive. And I guess, Kyle, to your point, it depends on how they say. If it's really is segmented as Swift plays third downs, Gainwell plays the 2 minutes, and Penny gets some of the goal line and a lot of the between the 20s. Just basically what's happened with them under this coaching staff the last couple of years is they played it that way some games, but in a lot of the games, it's been one guy playing sort of the 70% and one guy playing the 30%.
It's just like, I just don't feel like we're going to miss Sutton, man. Like, what's the difference between him and Darius Slayton? You know, like, other than that, we like Darius Slayton's.
I mean, Sutton makes a lot of money and is now under no threat of getting benched.
Was
Yeah, but the fact that he had a question of getting benched and then Tim Patrick tore his ACL again, like,
so who was questioning him getting benched? 'Cause I didn't see.
A lot of people thought it was going to be
sort of
Tim Patrick over him.
It was just sort of in the ether. It wasn't.
But like, I
no
didn't
one
see
from
any
the team
reputable
ever said
outlets
it.
saying that. That was us saying like, oh, they like Tim Patrick. Maybe they play him over in 2 wide. But I never saw. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I didn't really see a strong sentiment of like, oh, Sutton's not going to play or something.
I think it was Tim Patrick was going to be the big slot, like kind of the Marquise Colston of the, like, was the idea. And
well, that's actually what got me drafting him again is Matt Harmon came on Stat Chasing and talked about his reception perception stuff and basically just said like Sutton is actually set up to really produce for the first time because he's going to be asked to run the routes that he's good at, which is basically he's going to be slant boy. He's one of the best slant route runners in the NFL, and he is going to be running a shit ton of slants with Sean Payton.
Yeah, but like the Tim Patrick big slot stuff would never have really had any impact on Sutton. I don't think he's a career 15% slot guy. Like he was never like that had almost no relevance to him. Like to me, that was never a part of him getting benched, if that was even a thing.
I think our like next like 6 picks should be running backs or something where it's like we've made our bed with wide receiver. We'll work in another tight end. We made our bed with quarterback. And
we might come back around and get a Brian Robinson. I mean, he could be there. Algier, Warren.
Jalen Warren is a big guy I would like.
I like Jalen Warren. I think we're all in for that too. Yeah.
I don't know if he'll make it to us. How do you guys feel about the Bears guys? Like
Roshan, baby.
How do you view the
Bears?
I
like Roshan a lot, but I do like. That's one spot where like Roshan is clearly, I think right now, 3rd on the depth chart. My bet is that doesn't last because I take a lot of Roshan, but like I definitely acknowledge the fragility of that. I also take a decent amount of Herbert. Foreman's the one I don't take. And that could just be a leak in my game. He was really good.
No, he's got no upside to winning the pass down blocking, which is such a huge problem with Fields. He eats all these sacks. So I think that's how Roshan gets on the field.
I'm okay mega reaching for Zamir White too, and just saying like, I mean, Josh Jacobs could hold out. There was a really positive Athletic article on Zamir White the other day.
What do you think the odds are that Jacobs holds out? Or I guess you can include getting traded, but I don't even see how that's like feasible. But what do you think the odds are of that happening?
I've been drafting like he's not going to, but like,
yeah, I think it's sub 5. It's probably maybe around 5.
I don't know who said it. Maybe it was Gretsch, but like someone said that like Jacobs is a big like he's gonna try to do what he thinks is best, not like the money is not the biggest thing for him, which is like not what I want to hear. Like I want to hear you're like Saquon, like you're not embarrassed to take that 1-year deal. I don't want to hear that you're gonna like stick it to the man and try to make things
right. I get it. I wouldn't really read too much into trying like horoscope if he's like a Capricorn or a Cancer. Or whatever.
No, I draft Jacobs quite a bit at this price, but I think it would be foolish to not. And in managed, right? Like the ranking should not be the same as best ball. Whereas like if you guys are down on Herbert, who's gone, or no, he's still there. Like then we should just be taking these. Like we should be taking the backup of Joe Mixon, who, by the way, like Joe Mixon, like, did you guys read that legal shit by him?
Yeah, it's gnarly.
Right now, Chase Brown is not running. If you're just wondering, Chase Brown is not running as the backup. It's been Chris Evans.
And so it's probably Travion then, who is like back at
Also,
practice.
yeah, could be Travion. That's why that's one spot where like I get the value of it, but like Travion.
I actually, is anyone opposed to taking Algier ahead of Warren?
Me,
Yes.
I would take Warren over.
I would take Algier for sure as our second guy, but I want Warren.
I mean, there'll be a guy we like coming around, so let's take Warren here.
What about Jamal? Especially if we're like concerned, like, are we playing? Who projects for more fantasy points in week 1? I get it's not all about week 1, but like
no, that actually.
We need
but like Jalen could literally send Najee to the duster, and it's like it's the Warren.
Oh no,
show.
I'm totally in for Jalen. I would take Jalen's my pick here. I think
we're just double tapping.
I mean, like, are we betting on this in like what is Jamal? Like, I don't want to be playing whack-a-mole when I'm trying to win $1 million when I'm competing with
he's like
Taysom and Jamal and Kendre and Kareem Hunt's going to sign there after not signing with the Colts, and then obviously Alvin Kamara.
These dudes are going to take Jalen Warren. Like, just be ready. Like, they're about to click.
I know they are.
Jalen Warren. Karain loves Jalen Warren.
I got Pat on to Jalen.
One more. Damn it.
Please take Khalil Herbert. Please take Khalil Herbert.
I think we take Algier and Herbert. Like,
I wouldn't.
Like,
I mean, they're not a ton of great.
Laporta goes perfect. All right, so we're taking Warren.
Perfect.
Easy.
Warren.
Good work. I would take Herbert next. I'm not a huge Herbert guy, but like another one where like he both has like early and late season upside. If he just holds off 4th round rookie Roshan, like the median for a 4th round pick has got to be like 40 touches or something.
He's like a good runner. He could be traded. Fields, like, I mean, if Fields runs as much, he could get hurt, and then like maybe it is the Herbert show, right?
Liam, who can't be traded? A lot of players seem to be able to be traded.
Bad teams can trade players. Is the point, you know? I'll like passing on Algier's tough, where it's just like if Bijan goes down, he is just like.
I mean, he's got some standalone. I think they're going to run the ball about 617 times. Like, he's got a little bit of standalone.
I don't think he gets the ball enough where it's like easily predictable. Does he get more work than your average backup? Yeah, I think that's like a fair bet, but I don't think it's enough where it's useful as a managed league play. I like that.
I mean, I have no interest in Chig at all. So.
Yeah. Same. Okay, but Herbert.
Herbert, yep.
You guys are Herbert over Algier?
Yeah, easily. We need points. You're not starting Algier week 1. We need points. And also Herbert, like you said, Herbert's good. Like Herbert was a strong efficiency runner. And his competition is like 28-year-old Deonta Foreman, who I'm sure is signed for like $2 million, I guess. I don't know, something like that. And Roshan, a 4th round rookie. Like, I think it's a good pick.
I feel better getting Warren and Herbert.
I like the way this turn went for us.
Yeah, that worked out well for us.
Projectable points with upside, and Warren, who like also could be a projectable point guy. He already like worked on ousting Najee of 3rd down work, and he was like more efficient as a runner. So he could maybe be projectable points. And I think Karain described him to me as like almost the Alexander Madison bet in previous years, where if the starter goes down, he looks like a good bet to get every single touch, because the alternative is Anthony McFarland. Like,
well, to me, he's just 85% Austin Eckler. Is like, you know, he's just like, he catches passes like that. He's explosive. The Steelers really upgraded. Like, their O-line was so bad, and then you add in that tight end and like George Pickens' ability to pass. Like, can't you just see like George Pickens like throwing a dude down to the ground and Warren on like a little screen running by him?
I hate to say it, this is one of those can you sees that I can see this.
Yeah.
I'm a forward-thinking person, Kyle. That's how you win tournaments. You don't think you don't play all these EPA and whatnot. You watch some tape and you sun run the guys.
They weren't.
Darnell Washington out there absolutely blows up some edge defender.
Hell yeah! Like the Pickens and Washington blocking duo on a screen is just like stuff of nightmares for a corner.
I knew they weren't going to be able to pass up on Marvin Mims there.
That's a good pick.
Let them have them.
I really wish they would have let us get Zay Flowers. I'd feel better having Zay Flowers over.
That's all right though.
This whole range of wide receiver is just like a no for me unless Odell is there. So I think the only tight end I would consider is Gerald Everett, and other than that, I want to be playing.
I really want to get Hunter Henry on this team.
I like
He's my most
Musgrave a
drafted
lot
pick.
more than Hunter Henry on a tight end premium site.
I'm sad to report that you're wrong. Hunter Henry is going to catch 80 passes this year, probably.
I think Musgrave will catch more balls, but Henry could run on touchdowns. Like,
no, dude, they have nothing at wide receiver. They're running out the corpse of doo-doo shit poopster. It's over.
Dude, I would betting on like Jordan Love could actually have some optimism. It's no longer going to be such a slow-paced team with Love in there.
Why?
Because the slow pace was not only by design, it was Aaron Rodgers like dissecting defenses.
Well, do you not buy into the narrative that the Patriots actually have an offensive coordinator now, as opposed to having Matt Patricia spend his time designing the offense?
Chose those bozos, and the Patriots suck. Like that's just. I mean,
okay, all right. Well, I wonder if we've got a little bit of biasing going on here.
Yeah.
I really think we should be hitting running back though before we consider any of these tight ends.
I'm in for one more running back at least before the tight ends too.
I would like to get Chuba Hubbard on this team. I think Chuba Hubbard is a really good fit for us.
In a managed league, I think the clear order is like something like Zamir, Singletary, Ford, Spears, Gainwell, all above.
We still kind of need week 1 points a little bit.
Dude, we're gonna smash that quarterback and wide receiver and tight end that we can take a 10 ball at our RB2 spot.
Well, 10 ball is it's more like
I don't know how to tell you this, Davis, but we are drafting on August 9th, and we do not know if Josh Jacobs and Jonathan Taylor are playing football. So we should be gambling on who those backups are.
Yeah, I think especially with Taylor, I don't think the backup is on the roster if they get rid of him. I think it's possible that even if Jacobs just holds out, that could actually be Zamir White. Like they could just roll with that. They're like pretty bad team. They like spent decent draft capital on him. Whereas I mean, literally the Colts brought in Kareem Hunt. I think it's more obvious that they would either sign Hunt or sign someone else. Whereas White, I actually could see it. Like I don't think it's incredibly likely, but with tight end, I would not even draft another tight end here. Like the difference between Gerald Everett and Michael Mayer, pick your favorite guy, I think is like next to nothing.
I mean, here's the thing though. Like there are going to be weeks where like just guys get hurt, guys are bad, you know, like Hunter Henry can be a flex starter.
I guess
I would take Henry over Musgrave.
Anyone can be, but
I think like to me, especially Musgrave, like I think for Laporta and even for Kincaid, who I don't draft much, but I think he's a good prospect, and for Mayer, like they were strong prospects going into weak situations for tight end. I'm fine betting on them, not as much Kincaid, but that's just price. Like if he was cheaper, I'd be fine with it. Whereas like Musgrave, I didn't think he was a strong prospect coming out. And if you already are like using the history of rookie tight ends being horrible, I don't want to override that for a prospect I don't like. I'm willing to do that for Mayer and Laporta, but for a prospect I wasn't interested in, like, so none of his.
I just think that's a bad narrative of the rookie tight end thing. Like it ignores,
like,
because it's a lazy take where if you like look at the quarterbacks of these highly drafted tight ends, it's guys like literally 36-year-old Eli Manning is the best quarterback of the bunch. The other quarterbacks that are on this list are like Deshaun Kaiser with David Njoku. Evan Ingram was for obviously Eli Manning. There was Eifert probably actually had the best one in Andy Dalton before he was, like when we had optimism on Dalton. And it's like in an era of cover 2, could this not just be like the nuts to be a tight end? And this is supposed to be like the best tight end class.
I said it before. I think this cover 2 stuff, obviously it exists, but like using like defensive coverage scheme, which has shifted a few percentage points, isn't strong. And also like naming like, you name some of the early round tight ends, but like there have been dozens of 50, 60, 70 tight ends taken in the past 20 years or, past 15 years. Like, there are almost no examples of them being good. So was there not like a single one that got taken by with a team with a good quarterback?
I'm kind of distrusting the NFL teams too. Like all these guys went ahead of Greg Dulcich. They went ahead of Trey McBride.
What are we even arguing about?
the quality
The
of
rookie tight
like
end thing.
the Laporta, Kincaid, Musgrave, and even like
Meyer is the best cost.
and Mayer,
Yeah.
like those are the tight ends.
I'm more fine with Mayer and Musgrave because they don't cost you a lot. Like I don't think
Yeah.
they're fine. Like I take them. They're fine. Is they don't cost you a lot. To me, Laporta is worse. But like citing a few players, whereas like we literally have probably well over 100 data points for rookie tight ends, saying like that's a narrative. Like math is not like a narrative. Like sure, if you limit a sample size to 2, you can call that a narrative. But an incredibly rich history of data points, I think calling a narrative is dumb. Like I think it's bad. That's lazy, frankly. That's lazy.
I think there's just like not that many data on these like first, second round tight ends, right? It's like Kyle Pitts, who had awful quarterback play.
He's a bad example. He was good as a rookie.
Yeah. Well, all right. Anyway, let's talk about are you guys cool with double tapping running back here? Let's sort through how we have these guys ordered. Some believe that, like, I don't draft a lot of Mostert, but if you believe
Neither
the
do I.
buzz,
I like Jeff Wilson and Mostert, honestly, for what they cost.
if you believe
sort
the
of
buzz,
all
thinks Mostert's the one. I draft more Wilson and best ball. I'm cool with going Gainwell.
I really would like to take Gainwell just because there's a chance that we totally got 0 points from our Swift pick, and if that's true, then Gainwell saves us in that regard.
Agreed.
It's
so
fine.
I'm cool with Gainwell first, and then I like between Singletary, Ford, Mostert, and Spears. Singletary's just like a handcuff, hoping that
I've got
Ford is
Devin
also a handcuff, and I think it's a great sign he was rested for the Hall of Fame game. He's not going to be ready for week 1, maybe, but like who cares?
Yeah. So the issue with the 24-year-old running back who's making $900,000 suffering a preseason hamstring injury is that.
All right, Davis, we're trying to get through these running backs, so just you're out on Ford, right?
You could just not find a more replaceable human being than Jerome Ford.
Yeah, they're a big.
How do you guys feeling about Spears? Because the Titans could start
That's
1-6, and Spears could be the guy there.
Because they could trade Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is eligible to be
trade
traded.
Derrick Henry. I hate to tell you. What is Tajay Spears' weight? He's 201 pounds. He's like never going to be the guy. He's always going to be kind of like the third down back.
I think the ship chasing guys have been arguing about Latavius Murray for like the last 3 rounds. So that's where they're at right now.
Well, Latavius Murray.
Are you serious?
No, like Latavius Murray has gotten a lot of positive buzz out of Buffalo. He
had a 70-yard touchdown run in training camp, Kyle.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still on the
30-yard
Damian
catch or
Harris
something
train
like
over
that.
him, but he also like Damian Harris is abysmal in pass receiving, so like it's a more seamless fit to go to Latavius Murray. So
yeah, and I ain't taking him here, but I've taken him in the last round of best ball on DK, especially with the 20 rounds. I've got him.
I think we do Gainwell, and then I'll give my other.
Roshan is there too if you guys want to go Gainwell Roshan.
Having 2 Bears running backs feels way worse than having 2 Eagles running backs.
Dedicating 4 spots to 2 successes essentially is what I'd call
it.
Also feels rough. I'm fine. I'm okay doing that once. I don't know if it'd be my first choice, but it's fine.
It's just like it's not like we're going to take wide receivers in this range anyways.
Well, we could.
Okay, so how do you guys feel? I'm Singletary over Spears just because he at least can tout a full workload, and I'm not sure if Spears can.
Just drafting Devin Singletary, I don't want to do that. Like, I'd rather have Leonard Fournette.
Dude, Fournette is not going to play this year. Like, I hate to tell it to you, but he probably was like massively overweight at the Patriots tryout, and that's the last we see of him.
I'll take action on Fournette playing a single snap.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I mean, maybe he does play. I don't know. But it's not impossible that he like was way overweight, right? I don't know.
Sure, you could say these things of anyone.
You don't
just say this about anyone. You say this about a guy who has a history of showing up to training camp at overweight.
So we're taking Gainwell here. Chip Chasing takes Kendre Miller. Shocker. Crane loves Kendre.
Are there any other guys, like any
Jeff
positions
Wilson?
we could lock into Philly D?
No.
Are you Mostert's gone?
I like
Wilson's
Jeff Wilson more than all these guys.
I'm fine with Gainwell, Wilson.
Yeah.
What's their ADP? We are more likely
Wilson
to
goes.
swing
Wilson goes way before.
Yeah, we should
You're
go
like
Wilson just
reaching
to,
for Gainwell, but I don't care at this range.
Yeah,
Like
I would
don't
vote
care either,
Wilson
but
here.
let's take Wilson first.
I would take Wilson to play the ADP game. There are so many running backs between now and Gainwell. If
I'm
they
gonna
take
be like
it,
majorly
on
blown
them.
if we get sniped on Gainwell. But all right, so we're cool. We're comfortably Wilson there.
Sure, yeah.
Just seems like Dalvin Cook's going there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I still think his most likely landing spot, but it's only a plurality, is the Jets. But
At least Crack Rock. Like,
yeah. Well, the thing is, Crack Rock saying they don't want to pay him that money. Dude, no one wants to pay him that money. Either he's not signing anywhere, or someone pays him. He capitulates to the.
He wants to be a Dolphin though. Like he wants to be in. I think his family's from there or something, and he
went to Florida State. He's from Florida.
If the contract's similar, he's of course going to go to the tax-free state and not the heaviest tax state in the country, or one of them.
Yeah, but like clearly no one wants to pay him anything, or he would have signed someone willing to pay him anything. So I'm not confident he goes to the Dolphins. I'm also not super confident he goes to
Oh my God.
I knew we should have gone Gainwell.
See, I don't hate it though. I'm still not the biggest fan of burning a roster spot when we don't have to. He would have been my pick though, so I'm not thrilled.
Handcuffing a major upside is like not a bad thing in the 12th round. Who do you guys want to go?
Also, Penny could just shut them out of the lineup and we lose.
Well, now I think we should take Roschon.
We're really getting obsessed with handcuffing. I would vote Devin Singletary.
I cannot believe they took fucking Kenneth Gainwell.
How many picks ahead? He was like,
it's like 50
The
spots.
ADP is meaningless on this site. It's super stale. And like anyone who's done drafts on any other platform knows the player range.
I actually like Fournette more, but if you guys both like Devin Singletary, whatever.
How far is Fournette away? Is there any chance we can wrap him back to us?
Let's do Singletary. Kyle, you cool with it? 8 seconds.
I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
I'd rather take a guy I know is playing the NFL this year.
I really think they're probably similar bets in that, it's crazy how Devin Singletary was not good on passing downs, but they just kept using him. Boy, did they love to actually do that with him, which was frustrating. That's kind of like the Fournette bet. He's probably better as a passing downs back, but the fact that no one's willing to sign him signals that the NFL does not care about him as much as they care about Devin Singletary, probably. So
I'm grabbing a beer. I need a beer after that snipe. Fill the air, boys. Fill the air.
I'm really so annoyed by that, honestly.
Why? He's just Leonard Fournette, who is signed with a team already.
No, not Singletary. The Gainwell snipe.
Oh, sure. See, I don't love handcuffing our back. It's the 13th round or whatever. It's really not a big deal, but wouldn't have been my favorite pick. And there are worlds in which they still don't pass to their running backs, but Rashad Penny is getting all the carries. So they're both not dead, but both not good picks. So we have not locked ourselves into a league winner by any means, had we taken them, together.
Yeah, but we just took Devin Singletary.
See, to me, Devin Singletary has just signed Leonard Fournette. He's signed Ezekiel Elliott. He's coming in to soak up snaps. And I think, do you know who the running back 3 is? It's probably Dare, I'd imagine. I don't know if Rex Burkhead is on that roster.
He's not, I don't think. Let's see. That's a good game. Who is the number 3 running back on the Texans? Oh, it's Mike Boone.
Boone, yeah, I was going to say it's Boone. Those are practice squad players, essentially. And Devin Singletary is a 53-man roster player. There's a decent chance if Pierce goes down, he gets a bunch of inefficient touches, and we took him in the 13th round.
Yeah. Fuck, man.
Dude, someone just took Jordan Mason. I'm not drafting Jordan Mason. Come on. What are we doing?
Sure. Okay, so our running back room now is DeAndre Swift, Zach Charbonnet, Jalen Warren, Khalil Herbert, Jeff Wilson, Devin Singletary. We can probably find 2 guys there.
It sounds like someone shot your puppy here when I hear you read those. I just don't think that Jeff Wilson was worth risking it. And I know
he wasn't.
That's why I was Gainwell. I wanted to go Gainwell so much there.
I don't think I was telling Davis while you're gone, I don't think Gainwell locks us into a league winner. They have not historically passed to their running backs. and they're competing for that specific job. If Penny's just good and plays all the games, they could just be like space fillers who don't do anything for us. Of course, like I think it increases our likelihood of getting a useful player from them, but I don't think we're like, oh, we got these 2 backs, we've got an RB1 on our roster, or whatever. Like,
no,
it's very
I agree
possible.
with you, but like the buzz has been like pretty good on Gainwell. Like,
I feel like if we're buying into the buzz on Gainwell, Swift was just a bad pick then.
yes, I think Swift over Pierce was a bad pick.
Oh,
I mean,
not over Pierce. That guy sucks.
dude,
Swift is not a bad pick. You just always feel uneasy making it.
no, agreed. Swift could. There are seasons where Swift smashes, but I'm just like really confident that Damian Pierce is
Like
going to
if you
get
look at the
15 to
guys,
20 every single week.
like we would have taken Javonte over him, but if you look at the guys who go after him, it's way easier to see a smash for Swift than for Pierce, than for Akers, than for James Conner. Maybe you could tell yourself Kamara has a smash in there, Pacheco, Montgomery. Like none of these guys have DeAndre Swift
I think
smashes
Swift
in
has
there.
the best ceiling of anyone we could have taken at his spot or later.
Yeah.
Why do you hate Pierce so much, man? It's like he's cheaper after he got all the usage, right? Like he got all the usage last year. He looked good running the ball and, like was an explosive, angry runner. And now
I forgot to clock his anger. I didn't think about
Okay,
it.
wait, guys. We do.
And now these just going from Davis Mills to CJ Stroud has to like really, really increase that team.
We need to make a mental note for our 20th round selection, maybe earlier.
It's gonna be something
that
terrible.
It is terrible, but we do get a free look at Deneric Prince in week 1.
Oh,
we need to take him before that round because he will be gone by then.
Honestly, like I think we should take him. Like
Davis,
maybe
do we need to draft a defense on this in kicker or
yes, yeah,
required to?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like, I'm fine with Deneric Prince in the 20th round. You were about to say some round that was going to be egregiously high, and I don't want to hear it. But
any Lion or Chief player gets the free look. So
which means we can cut him for free week 1 as well.
Who is the Lions RB3?
Craig Reynolds, probably.
Craig Reynolds, yeah.
What about that guy that used to be the Chargers backup, Justin Jackson?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the 3. So he's worth grabbing in the event that Gibbs tears an ACL or something.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I think no, but sure.
By the way, I did call Zay Jones to Team 11. Team 11 drafted Zay Jones. Zay Jones, like this Team 11, if they would have taken Mike Williams, or if they would have taken Chris Godwin or JSN over Alexander Madison, they would like have a Picasso going right now.
And he, of course, Team 11 takes KJ Osborne. Like they gotta. Oh no, Jordan Addison's not seeing the field. It's the KJ Osborne show.
Routes, baby. Give me them routes. Give me the. He's playing the F role. He's gonna be out there blocking. But we like that's good. That's good.
My man's got Tony and Jameson Williams. I like his style.
But he's got his week 1 starters in Zay Jones and KJ Osborne, so he doesn't even have to sweat it.
Like he honestly there has to be some method to that. Is it a method I would employ? No.
This is an FFPC boomer Picasso where they start super
Kyle,
high
some
G.
people smoke meth in drafts, so we could be seeing that. That's a method. I forgot this is not only going on my YouTube. So for the audio listeners, that was Kyle.
So
could you hear that?
Our stat chasing friends. This is what our stat chasing buddies have. They have Kelsey, Olave, Mahomes, Judy in London. J.K. Dobbins is their first running back. Mike Evans is their wide receiver 4. Zay Flowers is their wide receiver 5. They leveraged us with Penny. They did take Sam Laporta instead of Jalen Warren, which I would have not done. They got a very nice pick in Marvin Mims at 11-3, Kendra Miller, and another very nice pick in Roschon Johnson. Their team is very good. They drafted.
We wanted that free look. Our team is better because we have alpha Jalen Hurts ripping off 30 to 40 each week.
Yeah, they have Patrick. They have Patrick
Chase.
So they're not sweating it.
Well, if Kelsey goes down, I mean, obviously their team is just done. If Kelsey goes down,
okay, we are about to pick. What do we want to do?
Chuba's still on the board. I could draft Chuba Hubbard.
Is CEH going to be a thing this year?
No, we're taking Deneric Prince. I already earmarked this as a Deneric Prince team.
This is not a Deneric Prince spot. That's a
Let's
terrible-
grab the
No.
Cowboys backup. Are you that confident it's Malik Davis?
No. I mean, that'd be my bet, but confidence, no.
Yeah. What do we take? Do we take a tight end? Do we take Henry or Mayer here?
I would take. I think
I'm still
Musgrave is
pushing it,
going to
honestly.
Musgrave's going to play more than Mayer to start at
Why?
least.
I think Mayer has a way better range.
Musgrave is just clearly the tight end one there right now.
I mean, I'm not really that worried about Austin Hooper for.
I'm not worried about either. I draft Mayer. I'd be down to grab Mayer and Musgrave and be done at tight end.
We
I don't
probably
even
need
want
one.
backup.
We
I'd
need
rather-
one more wide receiver, probably.
Yeah, what do we got at wide
We
receiver?
do
just
not
in
need
case
another
something's
wide
going on?
receiver.
Yes, we do.
We can grab like Jalen Hyatt the next.
I'm fine
round.
waiting it out. I'm
Okay,
fine waiting it
okay.
out.
Let's take Chuba. Let's take Chuba.
My vote's Chuba.
Yeah. Chuba.
Are you guys worried at all about
No.
how much?
former Bills practice squad running back Raheem Blackshear?
The Bills were so
are
smart
not.
that they signed him as UDFA. Obviously, they cut him later, unfortunately, but a really sharp organization.
He was on our team last year. I would be down to do the Foreman handcuff too. Now,
Nah.
No. I think they're about to take Donta Foreman. Actually,
I think they're
we
more
just
likely
saw
to
what
take
Deontay
Cuba.
Foreman can do if he's the lead back.
yeah, they
Oh,
did. They
took
did
Foreman.
take
Nice
him.
call. Nice call.
No.
So we're
Hubbard.
Chuba first. I'm fine with. Who do you want to be our next running back? If we go running back,
I dead ass want to take Deneric Prince
No,
next.
why are we taking? No, this is. I'm fine with taking him late, but like this is not.
He's
I'm
gonna
not taking
he's
special
gonna
teams
go. Like he's gonna go.
That's fine. I think it'd be a bad pick if he goes soon.
I'd rather go Chase Brown than Demeric Prince because I think Joe Mixon could like actually be arrested.
I would just take Chris Evans over Chase Brown.
Grab them both.
Okay, sure, yeah.
What
Josh-
about what? Okay, if we're in the mindset,
Ty
of,
Chandler.
like,
How about Ty Chandler?
well,
I ain't taking Ty Chandler. All the beats think he's terrible.
Yeah, the Beats think he sucks. What about
Training
hear me
camp
out.
means nothing except when it confirms your priors.
True. Fair enough.
Chuba?
Gus Edwards.
Chuba.
Yeah, we're gonna take
Chuba
Chuba
for
for our
sure.
second one though.
I'm in for
Trying to-
Gus Edwards. Like super efficient on the ground. Team has consistently split his reps with J.K. Dobbins, and we can leverage those ship chasing losers because I think they took J.K. Dobbins. Like they leveraged us.
Yeah.
The other
I
thing
like
though is that
Gus
if we
Edwards
pass
is the
on
best
running
of
back
those
here,
two.
we're not going to get Mayer or Musgrave on the wraparound. I don't think.
But we might get Hunter Henry, so it's all fine.
We might get. Because really, like Musgrave, Knox, Henry, Mayer. Those are the guys, and Trey McBride too. Like apparently, we're not worried about Zach Ertz.
Yeah, I take these guys are all the same. I don't care.
Yeah, they're all
Like,
the same.
I
I mean,
Are we
I
all
would
cool with
take
Gus?
Deneric Prince, but Gus Edwards is good.
Gus Edwards is my vote.
Yeah,
I'm
Gus
okay with
Edwards.
Demeric Prince too. He got run with the ones today. I don't think
Kyle,
Isaiah
we get
was
Kyle,
that
we get the
good.
free. No, we got to take Gus Edwards to leverage off the stat.
Yeah, we're gonna do that
losers.
first. And also, I'm gonna write the middle finger emoji in the chat.
We got him, boys.
Yeah,
We got him.
That is. Jake Ferguson, I think that's a good pick by them. Schumacher's finally practicing though, so it's still not impossible that he does. What's his face? Ferguson.
Aren't you worried? Aren't you worried about Luke Schoonmacher?
I mean, as the only person who drafts him, like I'm okay having the only having 3% where he's literally 0% drafted.
Yeah. So the data suggests rookies are very bad bets, but when they're backups, that's really when
We
you
are
wanna
a
get in.
forward-thinking plan here.
You in like 2016 when the rookies have previously also been bad.
You know what else the data suggests that's bad? Where's our last year draft board, man? CEH.
They're about to take Mayer here, I bet.
I could see that. I know.
Yeah, I mean, just like filling in the slot they could get real punished at running back.
Davis with an impressive back-to-back calls of their
they're just
picks.
counting on Dobbins and Penny every week, and then like if one of those guys goes down for the sprint, like good luck winning the millie with Miller as your RB2 if they don't.
Yeah, no one's ever been punished for counting on Rashad Penny down the second half of the season. No one was hurt by J.K. Dobbins last year when he didn't play half the season. Good luck, ship chasers. Good luck, buddy.
I mean, I love Rashad Penny, and I still would have gone Penny Charbonnet over Sutton, but it's fine to me.
So we can take Deneric Prince with our next pick, though, if he's there.
Yeah, I think we grab at least one tight end here, if not two.
Can we swing Deneric Prince to 17? Can I get us to take 17 versus 16?
The question is if Musgrave and Henry are there, I consider that.
Henry.
I will be voting Henry.
No, I consider going both. My ranking of the tight ends is something like
no.
It's
August
like,
9th. Leave us more running back tickets.
Yeah,
like Trey McBride is gonna maybe get a lot of targets there.
I really don't have a strong preference which tight end we take. I just only want one of them.
I remember frantically adding Hayden Hurst on the waiver wire for us last year. Apparently, he's the top target of Bryce Young in camp.
Yeah, he's not good, but almost no one on that team is. He could walk into targets.
I really think Musgrave's a swing at upside, whereas are you guys going Henry? Cool, going Henry and Musgrave if they're both there.
No, I only want one. I want the tickets at running back or
why not grab both and then end with one more running back, and it's like the tight end can fill in the flex, and then we end with kicker and defense.
If we're flexing one of these tight ends, we lost. If week 12 comes around, we're flexing Luke Musgrave, buddy. We're 2-10 or whatever. I want to keep taking shots at running back because we're still a lot of tickets that aren't going to pay off. One tight end in our stupid Deneric Prince bet.
So it's just so thin with only Kyle Pitts in one, but okay, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, also if we're benching Kyle Pitts for these tight ends more than twice, 3 times, we've also probably lost. I don't know.
I'm pretty optimistic on Musgrave. Deneric Prince goes.
I like Musgrave. I take Musgrave plenty. I like Hunter Henry more, but it's because I think it's a good range for tight ends. Those guys are
Davis tuned us out. Davis, did you hear that?
I'm arguing with people in Peter's chat right now. They don't like our team.
Well, probably because which picks do they not like? Sutton and
they just think we're FFPC boomers. They hated the Jalen Hurts pick. They couldn't believe that I didn't want to take Mahomes and that you didn't want to take Josh Allen, and they hate the Swift pick.
I don't know about.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted
boomers.
Dameon
We took
Pierce
one
there.
running back. We took one running back in the first 8 rounds. Boomer, I would disagree with that. It's okay to not like the draft, but I don't want this kind of slander coming around to us.
I think through round 5.
By the way, Deneric Prince just went.
Yeah,
that's what I'm telling you twice.
Yeah. I told
five,
Kyle you got to just throw ADP out.
I didn't want him. It's fine. It's okay.
Through round 5, I feel really nutted on our team with Chase, Ridley, Watson, Pitts, Hurts, really, really strong 5. I personally really wanted to get Dameon Pierce at 6. I know it's slander, but Lockett could become a little frustrating as a start-sit guy.
Okay, so we got Cortland Sutton then.
Fucking Cortland Sutton.
Hyatt. Damn, I did kind of want to take Hyatt.
It's fine. So what are we looking at here? Obviously, we got our tight ends, and I still think probably take another bullet on running back. And do we want one final receiver, and then we're taking the kicker or the defense? Whatever.
I mean, you could roll the dice on Khalif Raymond or someone if you just want a first look.
I don't. Not on Khalif Raymond.
Michael Gallup is there. I think should be the only wide receiver I would consider.
Sure, I'm fine with that.
I actually like Gallup.
He's the top receiver by ADP, right? He ain't gonna make it to us. But there are at least 2 other receivers. Jaden Reed, talk about Packers rookies who are making waves in camp. I'm fine with that one too. And Michael Wilson, another rookie making waves in camp, and it's just the only guy on that team that weighs over 180 pounds. So.
Tank Dell also a little bit of positive buzz on.
What if we take Justin Tucker or Harrison Butker? So we don't have to sweat kicker.
No,
I'm fine with it. I have really dedicated very little thought to if I should take a kicker in the 17th or 18th round. So
my strategy in the main event, like 75% of the time, is to take Tucker or Butker.
Okay, well, you haven't won yet, so I like to go defense over kicker usually.
No, it's way less. Yeah, it's
random.
way less stable. Yeah.
My guess with defense is way less random, so you want to take kickers because they're easier to project. But it's just a guess.
They both go. Tucker and Butker go. So
okay, all
right. Let's hit one. I'd be okay with two tight ends.
Hunter Henry.
Fine, we can have Henry. He's in there. Kyle, are you Henry over Musgrave? Because only I'm hearing that from Davis.
No, I am Henry over Musgrave, but I like Musgrave too. If Henry gets taken from us and we go Musgrave,
I am Hurst over Henry too. Are you guys Henry over Hurst?
Literally, get out of here. I can't even.
I'm fine with Hurst entering the conversation.
Well, is the Panthers wide receiver room some big demon that Hayden Hurst can't conquer?
Hayden Hurst stinks.
I mean, Hurst has been one of the worst tight ends in the league as measured by like open score and like yak in the past like 5 or 6 years. I think he'll be out there running routes, but he's genuinely quite poor. He's not.
I'm a McBride over Hunter Henry guy too. How are you guys on that?
No, Hunter Henry.
No.
Kyle?
No.
I'm a Musgrave over Hunter Henry. Musgrave is gone.
You mentioned that one already, I think. Yeah, I think.
Well, he went. Sharp pick. Sharp pick, Dreaming Sundays.
They got
our man in the 11th hole got a defense in round 16. Good for him.
He was the first one to take a defense. Would you have guessed
San
that?
Fran over Philly, a upset by ADP. Got to get different.
So for defense, I think we take. I think we can take the Bills.
Sure.
Their 3-week sprint is New England, Chargers, Cowboys. So pretty they could definitely have some touchdowns against the Chargers and Cowboys and sacks, and then Patriots they could just beat up on.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Bills D is going to be real good when Von Miller comes back. Baltimore apparently is lights out right now. I don't know their 3-week sprint right now.
What's the Dallas sprint like? I say we go our tight end here.
I don't think they're going tight end with them having Kincaid, Chig, and Ferguson.
Yeah, let's take the Cowboys. The Cowboys are the number 2 defense on.
They have a very bad sprint. The Bills, not a team we want to target against. The Dolphins, maybe.
Those will be high scoring games though. They're going to face a lot of passes.
Yeah, I mean, if you say the Chargers could produce touchdown for the Bills, you can't say the opposite when this team.
Yeah, I feel like this is a very flat tier defense. Is there any running back you guys feel?
Malik Davis is the only one.
But that would mean we don't get our tight end.
Oh, true. I think take your defense here. I think we take the defense here, then get our. I vote Dallas. We're running out.
Dallas is fine with me.
And then we get our tight end. It was a good call though to swing the tight end around.
I mean, we could honestly even swing it one more. Who's going to take a tight end? Maybe the Kittle drafter, the Waller drafter will.
There are a lot of teams that could just randomly go 3 tight end. Like the Kelsey team are, our ship chasing brethren. They went 3 tight ends. So
yeah,
a lot of they could just go
tight ends that have actual upside and haven't shown what Hunter Henry has because they took unknown rookies.
There's a Tyler Higbee, Juwan Johnson team. That team's taking 2. The Waller and Kittle are probably taking a second. They're getting a second guy. So we got 5 or 6 tight ends going, or probably 3 or 4 rather going. We're not going to make it back. So
I'm not concerned with what the chat thinks of our team either. By the way,
they hate it.
Well, the chat also drafted Laviska the year I full faded, so they're beatable.
Owning the libs, Liam.
Bills defense goes
Hunter Henry.
Hey, good call on the getting our defense though, because clearly our defensive choice was going to go Hunter Henry.
No, they were going to take the Bills.
Why? Are they a Bills? Why?
Because their team name in the past has been.
Oh, that's right. This is Bills fans or whatever, right?
Yeah. So.
You're right. I didn't realize that. And
I mean, the Bills D, before they lost Micah Hyde and Von Miller for the season, like, were suffocating teams.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I don't have a strong take between them and Dallas. They're both very good.
What did Dallas add
just-
on D? Like, did they add anything this year, Davis?
I have no idea. I just looked at projected points, and they have the second most projected points at defense.
Okay, well, I mean, yeah, I mean, you have.
Well, if you want to use numbers, Davis, okay.
What do you think the R squared on defensive production over the course of a season is, Kyle?
You just want sacks.
No, it's quite low. I totally agree. It's quite low, but that is an argument for who cares between Dallas and Buffalo. It's not an argument for Buffalo or Dallas. It's who cares. Do what you want.
No, but I mean, you could be like, oh, well, they only drafted offense in the draft and they lost 4 dudes. You know, like that would be a data point I would want to know versus like, oh, 2 dudes are coming back. But
That doesn't change the fact that the R squared would be low, which I agree with. Like,
last pick, I think we take another running back dart over a wide receiver.
Well, I really wanted it to be Deneric Prince.
Well, it's not going to be. I think we hedge again. Like, we need to take a backup of, so like Jonathan Taylor or Josh Jacobs. I mean, not Josh Jacobs. Like Kyron Williams, I think is actually like a guy who's going to be in the James White
Kyron Williams might be the week 1 starting running back for Los Angeles Rams. And just
literally might.
I'm fine with Kyron.
Do you guys remember last year before Bills Rams, Adam Schefter goes on ESPN and says, I'm starting Kyron Williams in the 16-team ESPN War Room League. I think he's going to get a bunch of work. And then he got a high ankle sprain on his very first NFL snap.
Was it like a special
kickoff,
team snap
right?
Too? It wasn't even like offensive snap.
Kickoff.
Was it kickoff? Yeah.
Kickoff.
Why do all those virgins know he got hurt on the kickoff?
Because
Buddy, you said it in the sentence.
Because I played a bunch of Kyron Williams in Showdown. I played like 47% of him in Showdown because of Adam Schefter on
I tied for first on the Showdown, the big GPP that
you made like a whole $40. It was really neat.
It's like 10K.
Team 4 has 4 wide receivers. Their wide receiver 4 is Darnell Mooney.
Come on, these are the people paying the rake.
And their wide receiver 3 is George Pickens.
Look, I might not love our team, but someone out here is paying the rake, and I don't think it's us.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, do we love these running backs individually? No, we don't. And we're just gonna churn and burn a bunch of them. And like, I'm gonna be actually upset if we get sniped on Kyron because I really like him.
We just changed Liam's life on Kyron Williams very easily.
Well, I think Zach Evans has like a bigger upside case in the sense that like if Cam Akers is out of there, he's like got to be the one running the ball, right? But I mean, Kyron can just be that James White role that's kind of disappeared from the NFL. You know, like I guess that was like a little bit what P. Ryan was, right? Like a souped up James White.
McKissick and Gibson both played that role at times.
Yeah, but like they weren't. I mean, McKinnon was, I guess, the
McKinnon too. Yeah.
But McKissick, what happened to McKissick? He got hurt, or
he got hurt. I don't remember exactly what it was, but he went down like middle of the season, if I remember correctly. So
yeah.
Oh, there's my favorite pick, Michael Wilson.
Didn't McKissick just not play last year?
No, he chose like he was gonna be a Bill. And then he chose to go. He like signed a deal with them, and then the Commanders matched, which is like a big no-no for like GMs to like fuck with each other like that. Typically, obviously the Commanders don't care, but also the Commanders GM is probably going to be fired, I guess. But the
McKissick played last year. It was 8 games, and he got hurt after that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel great getting Kyron Williams. He's gonna fall to us.
Yeah, totally. He's gonna fall.
He's gonna fall. I mean, he's got a different like. Dude, he could outscore Jeff Wilson. He could be like Jalen Warren, where it's like if Jalen Warren is only third down, that could be Kyron.
Where are we at for kicker?
Oh, we took our D, so we get another spot too. Do you guys want to do another tight end or an additional running back? I think we go another
probably another running back. Yeah, I mean, if Malik
Davis, obviously, yeah, like we just need to be. I don't think it's the craziest thing to take Kyron and Zach and just being like one of these guys might be the starter. Actually,
no, I want to take Malik Davis.
Lat is still there. Latmer.
I'll take Latavius.
Yeah, he's so far down the thing. I saw.
Travion would be a vote for mine too, where I believe he was like the 2 in camp until the hamstring, and he's like at practice again.
I think they were platooning that 2 role. I don't think there was a clear winner yet. So
between him and Chris,
yeah.
Let's take.
Like I've looked for buzz on Chase Brown. I've not been able to see any.
There's not a ton. I was looking recently too. I saw something from Paul Denner, if I remember his name correctly, saying like he looks good in camp, but they're not using him like the 2. Right now it's Chris Evans. And before that, I believe it was a mix of Chris Evans and Travion. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I don't
Let's take Jake.
winner.
Let's take Jake Moody. He's the
What about
49ers kicker.
Oh, yeah.
He's the
rookie kicker they took in the 3rd round.
Oh, you're talking about kickers. So I have Kyron Williams, Isaiah Spiller, Travion Williams, Malik Davis. I would think I'd tier it Kyron and then
Malik Davis is clear.
Yep, I agree with this.
We going Kyron first?
No, Malik Davis.
Kyle?
Yeah, sure, Malik Davis. Yeah, probably Malik Davis over Kyron.
Malik Davis might get 211 carries this year.
And you got to get that RB2 and defense correlation.
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
That used to be a big DFS thing.
Well, it's the double dip, the kick returner who like a kick returner defense.
Yeah, if we had Bills D, we could have gone Deontay Hardy, man.
What a bummer. What a
Oh,
bummer to miss
wow.
out on.
The double kicker move from Frozen Tundra, who also has Trevor Lawrence and Kirk Cousins. You can never be too safe in these streets.
Well, look,
maybe he thinks it's best ball.
Kyron Williams goes. What?
Wow, we did get sniped.
That's all right. Our top guy's still there. And look, Kevontae Turpin, double dip potential.
Double dip potential.
The thing is, like, Kyron was not in buzz until I went on, like, I talked about it with Davis. I talked about it on, like, 3 pods this week. I do it to myself, man. Kyron was there.
All right, Malik
is our, but who do we want to go with our next running back?
Kicker. Let's take a kicker.
We'll just take the Bills, right? Tyler Bass.
Sure.
Oh, but they're going to take Tyler Bass.
Oh yeah, if you want Tyler
we
Bass.
We can take Tyler Bass first. I don't care.
I would go Gainwell first. Or Gainwell.
I would go.
Let's take Malik Davis. Let's take
Bass first and then Davis.
I vote Malik Davis.
I vote Malik Davis too. You've been outvoted.
That's fine. It's just there's a tier after.
Because we can take Moody. We can take the 49ers kicker.
Well, let's skip on kicker if Bass goes and go running back. I think we just punt. Let's just punt kicker if they take Bass.
I hate punting kicker. I really
Kyle, do you have a read into the Spiller versus Kelly? Spiller's still here.
So I mean, like, they are, in fact, not supposed. They are both getting reps in camp, but as like the second back and sometimes with the first team. But I mean, last year, Isaiah Spiller played 2 snaps in their final 7 games. Josh Kelly played 200 and change. He got 0 carries, and Josh Kelly got like 60 or 70 touches. It was 50 or 60, I think. Like, I'm going to take their actions, even though I get it. Spiller gets a real offseason. He was dinged up last offseason. I'm going to take their actions louder than any like mix of camp reps.
Latavius Murray. All right, so you guys cool taking Bass?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
go for it.
It's pretty nice to have like leverage off of all the Bills pieces in the playoffs too on a team we don't have Bills.
That's why we did this.
I mean, legitimately, that's a game theory angle, right? Like if they're kicking field goals, they're not scoring touchdowns. What about Eric Gray versus Matt Breida?
I think we should take a wide receiver. We haven't taken one since round 9.
I don't think we need to.
I agree with this.
Kyle, you agree with
like let's take Darius fucking Slayton. He's gonna have 7 catches for 97 yards and a touchdown.
Dude, let's take Devontae Parker. That guy's gonna run so many routes, and we'll never play him on the right week, but it'll be fun.
Yeah, well, literally, like Devontae Parker is just asking to have a horrible time.
No, I mean, I like Slayton a lot in best ball, but I would rather do the running back and just we've made our bed with our elite guys at wide out. We'll find we can find Slayton on the waiver. Because some of these dudes are gonna need, like the dudes with 2 quarterbacks, the dudes with 2 kickers, like they're gonna be cutting some of these guys. The dudes with some of the wide receiver heavy teams are gonna need running back starts. If like ETN or Walker gets hurt, they're gonna need to like just take a bunch of running backs. Kyle, what's your vote between running back and wide out?
What
I'm running back.
I think I'm wide out, but that's only if some of the guys I like make it to us. Like if we're
Okay, well then let's talk about wideouts. Slayton is my number one. As far as like unknown upside, guys like Josh Downs and Puka Nacua.
Oh, Downs actually. I mean, if Downs starts week 1 for the Colts, he's going to be like the number 1 waiver wire pickup of the week.
Tank Dell has a lot of positive buzz, and from the little bit I've seen, looks pretty positive.
My vote's Devontae Parker. I think he is a good bet to out-route everyone on this list by a wide margin.
Devontae Parker is just Cortland Sutton, but on the Patriots.
This is a compliment, is how I will take it.
Can't we just take a running back and then add Devontae Parker week 1 if we feel like he's going to be undrafted in this league?
Sure. Let's take another dart. Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
All right, let's do running back, and then we'll just week 1, we need one of those guys we can just outbid. I don't think Dalvin is going to be a Jet, so I'm kind of cool gambling on the Jets backups.
I don't want to gamble on the Jets' 4th running back, though. Okay,
so I have Eric Gray on the board. I have Abanikanda. I have Zach Evans. I have Tyrion Davis-Price. I have Isaiah Spiller. Cordell Patterson's there.
I would take CPAT if he makes it to us. The rest of these guys, I don't think you're finding a predictably usable week here.
No, you're just these are all dudes where you're hoping the starter gets injured.
But I mean, if Breece Hall can't play, I don't think Izzy is the guy. I don't think Chase Edmonds is particularly usable.
Who do you think the guy is for the Jets?
I guess Carter. So he's still here, but I don't like it.
I mean, honestly, it's going to be whoever is best friends with Aaron Rodgers. It doesn't matter their talent. I think Zach Moss is fine in best ball, where I believe he's going to return and play, but we're not going to hold him for the 6 weeks he's hurt.
Yeah.
Is Keontae Ingram still here?
Nope, I saw him go.
Okay.
This TDP buzz has been really positive. Jordan Mason's still there.
I think Sean Tucker is the best bet at a guy who could just clearly be a number 2.
You don't want to leverage against CMC teams?
Jordan Mason and Elijah Mitchell already went. I don't think it's that good a leverage.
Yeah.
I mean, things are negative for Elijah Mitchell with how positive it's been for the other guys.
I just don't trust 49ers beat writers about their running back evaluations. They just make shit up. Tevin Coleman is going to be starting by week 7 for the 49ers, and there's nothing any of us can do about it.
Yeah, I just don't trust a ton of training camp buzz in general, given how good Elijah
By the way, at tight end, Dawson Knox is still there. Conklin's still there, who reportedly is the second target after Garrett Wilson in camp.
If this was a September 1st draft, sure, but we got 30 days for guys left to get hurt.
Yeah, this spot also strikes me as we can pick this guy up if we want him. Otherwise, they're fine picks in their own right, but
that's fair with me. Okay, so CPAT looks like he's going to make it. Deion Jackson is another option.
I actually don't hate taking Cordell Patterson.
Oh, here I don't want to speak too highly of him because I hope he makes it to us. Davis, who are they taking here? You've been pretty. Oh, they needed a kicker.
Sweet. They needed a kicker.
CPAT. Easy.
All right, so CPAT, we're all cool with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
The leading wide receiver in Atlanta.
Pretty good. All right, so the team is Jalen Hurts as our lone quarterback. Our running back room, I hope you're ready to listen. DeAndre Swift, Zach Charbonnet, Jalen Warren, Khalil Herbert, Jeff Wilson, Devin Singletary, Chuba Hubbard, Gus Edwards, Malik Davis, and Cordell Patterson. Wide receivers, Jamar Chase, Calvin Ridley, Christian Watson, Tyler Lockett, and Cortland Sutton. Only 5. Not our best work there. Tight end room, Kyle Pitts and Hunter Henry. Kicker, Tyler Bass. Dallas defense.
Pretty nutted at the onesie positions where it's Hurts, QB1, Dallas defense in the mix for defense 1, Tyler Bass in the mix for kicker 1, Pitts, probably not tight end 1, but he's in the mix. Got the wide receiver 1 in Chase. We just need to make running back work, and we got a lot of times for dudes.
And we need to be pretty aggressive adding wide receivers early too. If there's a Zay Jones guy that
for sure. But 1 or 2 of those guys comes out, and I mean, like, yeah, Devontae Parker cannot be what Zay Jones was, right? Like, that's a different type of.
He could.
No, he definitely could. I don't see why.
There's some picks that we disagreed in, right? Like, for me, I wanted to go Pierce over Swift. I was not into Sutton. I would have felt much better about Zay Flowers than Sutton. I think we all would have. But there's some upsides for Sutton. Like, Russ maybe does have resurgence. Any spots you guys would maybe want to take back? By going Hurts, that means we don't get to go Penny. Like, I would have been down to go Penny Charbonnet. That's a pretty.
Looking at it, Elijah Moore over Charbonnet probably. Just knowing how hard we went at running back.
No, I think we had to.
Like Charbonnet has an actual ceiling, and all these dudes are so thin. So like, I feel good about.
I feel good about that too. Yeah.
Like, I'm not giving up Charbonnet on this team.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Especially with like how fragile Swift is, right? Like, he has legitimate upside, but he is very fragile.
Yep, that's why I'm totally fine with the way we hammered running back. I think we had to. We took a really high upside swing in Swift, but probably, like I said, I think his upside is better than anyone who went after him. His downside is probably also lower than Pierce, Akers, Kamara, sans the 3 games, James Conner, even like lower than Montgomery and maybe Pacheco. So I think we absolutely were in the right to take the next 6 picks as running backs or whatever, and then like 1 or 2 more. I don't regret that at all.
Like 1 or 2 spots, I maybe would like Gus Edwards versus Michael Mayer. I think is a discussion where maybe I would like the Mayer versus Hunter Henry versus like it's not like Gus versus like we're all these running backs are darts.
I think Hunter Henry is like, I don't know, like he could totally be like the 9th highest scoring tight end in fantasy.
Okay, yeah, maybe. I mean, like, look, yeah, he could be his target.
That was a very Liam argument you made, and Liam, once he hears an argument that he makes come reflected upon him, he's like, okay, maybe.
No, I don't know, man. I'm just like, I'm not buying that like Bill O'Brien.
He's just gonna run all these routes. That's really all it is.
I guess.
I mean, Hunter Henry last year on what was one of the worst offenses in football played 17 games
on the same 59. Offense.
And he's not in the same offense though. The Patriots in 2021 were the number 5 offense in weighted DVOA. They were number 29 in weighted DVOA last year. I think they're going to be closer to like 15th this year.
I draft some Henry, but I think he's going to get there on touchdowns, and he's not going to be. I think he's a way worse pick for managed. Like, I don't think he's going to be this consistent like 8 catch guy, which like some of these rookies could be.
Well, any of
these rookies could be
targets. We're talking about target. 6 targets.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm still not too dying.
The Jeff Wilson pick,
fine with me. I don't.
Yeah,
I mean, he's okay. It's just like I really wish that was like Zamir White or someone for me.
I don't know. I feel like we still at that point needed touches. Like, we had locked in touches of like a meaningful amount of like maybe Swift and maybe Herbert. And although Zamir White certainly has a better ceiling case than Wilson, like we also have other good ceiling cases in Charbonnet and Warren. But like come week 3, when Khalil Herbert's been benched, like we're going to be looking for Jeff Wilson previously got 12 touches in the game before that. Like we may need that. So I think we mixed in good upside and good give me a dozen touches bets at running back. I honestly think we played running back pretty well. Maybe not perfect, but I think we mixed in the right guys at the right times pretty darn well, frankly.
I think we played it well from a quantity. To me, in a year where we all think that Josh Jacobs and Jonathan Taylor and J.K. Dobbins and these guys are going to play. It's like you should maybe just like leverage when it's like you're making similar rando dart bets anyway. So like, why not try to guess who the backup of JT is? Jacobs.
I really wish we had Deneric Prince though. Like having Deneric Prince really would have tied the room together.
The Gainwell thing, going Jeff Wilson over Gainwell.
Yeah, that's really
like, especially with going so many quantity running backs. It's like you don't need to swing for upside with every single pick, right? Where it's like if Swift or Gainwell dust each other, fine. Like, like we can still win the $1 million losing a 6th round pick. So I would have liked to. It's not like a handcuff in the traditional sense, which it's the like we don't know ambiguous handcuff.
Sure, yeah. Handcuff typically means this guy is the backup to this guy. We actually don't know. So, yeah, all else being equal, I guess I'd go back and I'd swap the Gainwell pick for Jeff Wilson and do whatever we need to do at the next pick. So,
I feel good about it overall. Let's look at our week 1 opponent. I think it shows us that. I mean, absolutely fire profile picture by us, by the way.
We're playing the Bills, guys.
Okay, so we got Hurts versus Richardson. So obviously that's a win to us, but maybe Richard hits the ground running.
I think they draft a team that you like because they got Richardson, who I think you like, right? And I do too. They've got Dameon Pierce.
Their team is sick, actually.
Yeah, because you let them get fucking Dameon Pierce and Kincaid on us.
No, I don't think their team is sick for that exact reason.
They're starting T. They just have T and Justin Jefferson, which is sick.
Sure, I agree with that. But
I mean, the T and Jefferson versus Ridley and Chase, I think we have a lot more upside. Chase, Ridley can way out Higgins.
Sure,
we have
upside.
We have Kyle Pitts, so we need Kyle Pitts to score like 16 points a game.
I was going to say, we are outscoring them in week 1 at tight end by 16 points. Dalton Kincaid is getting 2 for 20.
Who's their bench tight end? Are they starting like Gerald Everett against
Chig? I saw Chig in there somewhere.
They got Chig and Jake Ferguson.
Oh, so they're locked in.
No, they're locked into 4 points at tight end in week 1.
We definitely got them on kicker. And we got some nice leverage off their defense play.
Oh, great.
Watson and Lockett versus Cooper and Ayuk. I'm siding with I really like
I bet projections will have those 2 wide receivers projected for more.
Yeah, I don't care what the projections say. It's week 1. Week 1 projections are pretty Who are the running backs you guys think we're starting week 1?
So Wilson, Swift and Jeff Wilson.
I would consider Jaylen Warren over Jeff Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I kind of wish we took a Chief.
Oh wait, Khalil Herbert. Obviously, we're starting Khalil Herbert.
Oh yeah, Herbert's going to be in there for us.
Yeah, it would have been nice to have Clyde or Praise.
I mean, it's no guarantee that Walker is playing week 1. I think the buzz is, but we don't know that,
And McIntosh got hurt too.
Obviously, if Joe Burrow doesn't play till week 5, that's tough for Chase.
Well, yeah, we just donated. If Joe Burrow's out until week 5, we just put it back in the ecosystem.
That seems quite unlikely, though. Let's not speak these rancid vibes into the ether.
I obviously didn't make that up. That's just what Chase said on a podcast.
No, I know, but I think that is him. I mean, that's something a game theory bro would say, let's just center our distribution around making the playoffs, i.e., don't hurt yourself, Joe Burrow. I don't think when rubber hits the road, that's how NFL players actually operate.
Yeah. All right, Liam, let's land the plane.
All right, let's land. Sutton just definitely riding our bench week 1. Good team. We didn't agree on every single pick. I'm looking forward.
That was a rough experience to draft. I think the final product was okay, but there was some teeth pulling there, and I don't even think it was either of your guys' fault. I just think it was kind of the way it worked out.
Yeah, we got in some spots where we wanted one player to land at us, and we just couldn't pull that player for our lives. Happened,
and we did it to ourselves too. Sometimes on the turn.
Yeah. Well, was this drafting experience better or worse than last year's?
Way better.
Yes, agreed.
You're just saying that because you guys got dusted on the disagreements last year, where it's just
But I think but just the experience itself, I was a winner, dude. We got Albert O. In that moment, I was an FFPC main event champion, so it should have been good.
I mean, our team is way better than last year because we're starting Kyle Pitts instead of Albert O in the tight end spot.
Very similar range of outcomes between Kyle Pitts and Albert O.
No, I mean, I feel good about the team, and it should be pointed out that champions are made in the waiver wire.
Taking Kyle Pitts feels so good until you have to face the reality of starting him week 1 and being like, shit, this dude's going 3 for 17.
Yeah, he's an all-time reaping. He's an all-time reaping versus sowing player.
I don't draft him a lot, but he's got to have 1,000 yards, right? How could he not?
What do you mean? He literally did have 1,000 yards 2 years ago. Of course.
No, this year though.
Yeah, we're getting it again, baby.
All right. I like it, boys. Anything to say? Anywhere they can find you for anyone that rode out 2 hours with us?
No, all the good stuff. Sports Grid Fantasy Football Podcast, Take Cast, Sports Grid TV.
Roto
Hit the
Football
like button, hit
Show.
the subscribe button. If
Okay,
you
I won't
fell
plug
asleep.
anything. It's fine.
That's
Yeah,
fair. Wait, shut up.
Liam, what a dick.
Then it was me. Now it's Kyle. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Roto Football Show. Follow me on Twitter. I tweet out all the links to my articles. Liam, plug your stuff.
I will put Kyle and Davis's socials in the YouTube description below and my Discord. Let us know what you think about the team, whether you side with Kyle, Davis, or myself on some of the player disagreements. Have a great day, guys.